Pokemon Champions is fast approaching, and with it, we have the return of Mega Evolutions to competitive Pokemon. Today, I'm joined by my friend, Mr. Steelix for a two-part series where we rank and discuss how good we think each Mega Evolution will be in VGC. Here on my channel, we will be discussing the returning Mega Evolutions, and on Mr. Steelix's channel, we'll be talking about all the new Mega Evolutions introduced in Legends EA. So once you're done here, make sure you go check out his channel for part 2. But without further ado, let's jump into it. Mr. Steelix, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I am doing great, thank you. So, as I probably mentioned there in the intro, the plan for today is to rank all of the original Mega Evolutions from X and Y, and then, of course, Oras. The way we're going to kind of go about this is we have different tiers here, right? So the S tier is going to be for Pokemon that are essentially always good. Regardless of the format, I expect these Pokemon to be very good. As for the A tier, they're typically always good. These are Pokemon that, for a majority of formats, should be pretty solid. The B tier is going to be very specific formats Pokemon are good. Niche is going to be like, if a Pokemon, like if you build around it in the right format, it could maybe do something. The D tier is for Pokemon that just probably are almost never good. And then of course the F tier, this is the content tier. This is the Pokemon that are probably bad. You should never mega them. And yeah, they're probably just, they should not hit the builder. And if they do, you're probably a YouTuber trying to make a video out of it. But I guess, yeah, without further ado, let's jump into Mega Aerodactyl. Do you have any thoughts on Mega Aero?
I gotta say, Mega Aerodactyl, like on the surface, 150 base speed, incredible. 135 attack, I believe, also great. And Tough Claws adds to that level. But I feel like Rock Flying isn't the most defensive typing, should I say. There's a lot of weaknesses in this, but if you take into account like Rock Slide, Tough Claws at that speed tier, like that always is scary. So I think it's like just scary enough, but not great.
Yeah, no, I agree. Unfortunately, I think the issue with Tough Claws too is it doesn't have the most moves that like are actually affected by it. Unfortunately, like when you go through the list here and you look at like the top physical moves it can learn, right? Like I don't think Stone Edge is affected by Tough Claws. I don't think Rock Slide is affected by Tough Claws. Like a lot, like it's kind of like it's annoying, right? Because like this one also doesn't get Brave Bird. Like if it got like Brave Bird with Tough Claws, then like all of a sudden you're talking about one of the like absolute best flying type like stab moves in the game. Like that would be absurd flying coverage. But really it doesn't get the best coverage, which I think is like definitely one of the things holding it back. As you said, its stats are great. Like 80, 85, 95 is like respectable bulk, especially on a rock type. The speed is crazy. The attack stats are very, very good. I don't think it gets Swords Dance, but it gets Hone Claws, right? Yeah, so it gets Hone Claws, which is really good with like Rock Slide, right? It gets rid of the chance to miss. It also works with Stone Edge as well, so you have like that really powerful like one-time nuke. But I do think its move pool is letting it down. I think it probably needs to get some help come champions to be like really, really good. But I think for me, this is probably just like a C tier mon, right? It's pretty niche. Like if you can set up Hone Claws and start clicking Rock Slide, it's very fast. You're going to get a lot of flinches. It is going to hit really hard. But realistically, I don't think it's doing too much.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think C tier is a good spot for it.
I think that's a good way to start it. And then we have Mega Mawile. Mega Mawile, obviously, one of the absolute best types in Pokemon. Steel Fairy is pretty absurd when you think about it. It also has access to huge power, coming off a respectable 105 attack. I guess, yeah. What are your thoughts on this mon?
The Fairy Steel typing is just so it's so dynamic. I mean, only having weaknesses to ground and fire make it really easy to cover for, which I think is the important part. And then like the extra layer is that Mawile before it megas has Intimidate on top of
True,
that.
yeah.
So you're not just getting the huge damage output, the great typing, you're also supporting the team. And you don't necessarily have to mega evolve right away. You could pivot, go for another Intimidate later if you have a free switch in. Like I feel like it's just got a lot going for it to put it to that level, but it does suck that you can't use like Clear Amulet to get it past other opposing Intimidates. So there's a risk involved with it, but I think it's still incredible.
Yeah, I think one thing worth mentioning as well is like when you look at this mon's stats, right? Like its defense and special defense like really good. Its HP is obviously pretty lackluster, but like because of its really bad speed stat, like this is a Pokemon that like does function pretty well under Trick Room with a set like this, where you just go like Brave, max HP, max defense. It's like it makes your bulk like pretty respectable. Your attack with like huge power is like absurd, right? What's that, like a 344 attack stat, which is kind of crazy.
Mhm.
Obviously, Play Rough can miss, which is a little unfortunate. I think Iron Head is its best still coverage, but then it gets access to things like Sucker Punch as well, which like make this one a menace. Like Sucker Punch coming off this attack stat is just absurd. Um, and like I think it gets some pretty decent coverage moves as well. Like if we look down the list here, right, it gets things like double. You probably never clicking double edge, let's be honest, but like Psychic Fangs is decent. Crunch in the right format is good. Like Brick Break, you get the elemental punches. Like I think in the past they used to run Ice
Mhm.
Punch for things like Landorus, which is obviously really good. It gets knockoff as well, which is pretty solid. I think it also gets Swords Dance, right? Yeah, it also has access to SD as well, which is also kind of cool because it's like huge power plus Swords Dance makes this one like just it's absurd. Like I think in lower power formats in particular, it's probably going to be pretty good. I'm pretty comfortable putting it in the A tier. Like, I guess how do you feel about that?
I think that's a good spot too, and I the biggest concerns I have going with it, like with the 50 base speed, is like its matchups into Ursaluna. Like both Ursaluna
Very
forms, I feel like
fifty-fifty.
are pretty scary for it. But
Yeah.
if you run just enough speed, you can outspeed it outside of Trick Room, or if you run a minus speed, you might be able to,
Mm.
depending on the opposing sets, underspeed it in Trick Room, which would be great.
Yeah, and again, it also comes back to like we don't know how IVs work in this game, but being speed
Mhm.
tied at 50, I do think is really interesting because you're right. Like if you're both just brave, then it's like at worst it's a 50-50. Unfortunately, it doesn't get close combat, which does suck a little bit. Like, does it get any like grass physical? I don't think it gets like a grass physical, right? No.
Hmm.
Well, it doesn't get water either. So, like, again, I'm pretty comfortable putting this in A tier. Like, as you mentioned, Intimidate is such a good base ability. And then huge power coming off like this attack stat it's pretty absurd, and its bulk's good. As we mentioned, arguably the best type in Pokemon. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty comfortable with the A tier.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And then speaking of a not so good Pokemon, I guess Audino. Where would you put this? Because this mon, VGC wise at least, Audino is never been good, and Mega Audino is also not very good.
To be completely honest with you, I don't even know what to say about Audino. I mean, it doesn't have any offense. It's got solid bulk, but what does that do for you? I mean, healer as an
Doesn't have
ability when
Follow
you Mega
Me.
Evolve is garbage too.
It has Regenerator as a Mega. Sorry, Regenerator as a
But
Mega.
does it? I'm looking at
Yeah.
healer currently. Did it change? Did
Heal is its
I?
base, unless the ZA pet mod's wrong, but it says it's got Regenerator. I
Ooh, I
wonder.
might be wrong then. It might have changed because the
Let
list I'm
me
looking at says healer.
let me see if
My
I can
fault.
just double check this real quick. Oh no, you're right. Okay, they must have changed it for the ZA pet mod. It used to have sorry, it does have healer. Okay.
If it had
Yeah,
regenerator as a mega,
they've lied to
I
me.
would give it some flowers, but I still think it's F tier regardless.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Look, it's not a good one, right? As you mentioned, 80 special attack is bad. Like, yes, it picks up the fairy type, which is never a bad thing, but it's like it's clicking Dazzling Gleam off 80 base. And then like when you look at its status moves, like it doesn't have much. If this guy had like Follow Me, like maybe it gets like a bit scarier, but like you're not clicking Calm Mind with it. You're too slow to use Encore. Like, yeah, you could Trick Room, but it's like, do you really want to Trick Room this guy? Like, I don't know. It's got After You, it's got Ally Switch, which is like the poor man's Trick Room, I guess. It's got Heal Pulse. I mean, realistically speaking, this is your Mega. Just don't use it. Like, use literally
Yeah.
any other Mega in existence. I don't think Ordinal is good.
I think defensive megas are such a niche like subject in general, and Audino does it poorly.
And look, historically speaking, they've never been good defensive Megas. I think maybe when you start getting to like a legendary format again, where things like the Paradox Pokemon, the Ultra Beast, Tarpus, the Genies, like when they come back into the game, there might be an argument for defensive Megas because all of a sudden you're going to get like a Pokemon like Fluttermane where it's like maybe Fluttermane is just better than like 99% of Megas anyway. So like maybe
Yeah.
there's going to be some niche there. But then again, I'm sure there are going to be better Pokemon where it's like, if Fluttermane's legal, why would I run Audino when like Zardwire is just a Pokemon, right? So,
And I think there are some defensive megas because of body press that'll be good, but we'll get to those
yes, yeah,
later.
we'll get to, yeah, that's very true. We'll get to those, but I'm pretty content with the F tier here. But the next one, this is actually one of the Pokemon I'm more excited to use, and that is Mega Camerupt. Mega Camerupt is very interesting because historically it was like never amazing, I don't think. But I do think Mega Camerupt is a big improvement over base Camerupt. And also like being as slow as it is, like losing that 20 speed, I think super value. Like Camerupt now has 40 base speed, but Mega Camerupt has 20 base speed. And when you have 145 special attack and access to Eruption, that's pretty crazy. And then on top of that, you also have like sheer force heat waves as well. I could see this Pokemon paired up with Torkoal being one of the scariest Trick Room like combos in the game. Like I think it actually seems
100%.
absurd.
That 20 base speed is the thing that really catches my eye for sure, because you're underspeeding so many classic Trick Room mons that you actually have a lot of opportunity within Trick Room to make a move.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget as well, there is always the anger point Camerupt that we can always run. The infamous sheer force. I don't think it actually gets like any ground move, but maybe there's a world where Camel with +6 clicks Earthquake, but probably not worth it for your mega slot. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I do think this mon potentially, because like you've also got to keep in mind, like sheer force Earth power, kind of crazy. Like that is
Mhm.
like we've seen Landorus do bits, and this one has 40 special attack more than Landorus. Of course, it doesn't have the life orb, but like when you're in Trick Room, clicking like sorry, sheer force boosted Earth powers of this special attack stat, things do start to get nasty. And again, we're talking about a mon that wants to play in Trick Room. It doesn't need its speed stat, right? You're probably going to play this quiet. And its defensive stats at 100 and 105 are really respectable. So like I could see a set like this in Trick Room being super dangerous. And if you don't have an answer to sorry, if you don't have your own weather, I think Camerupt plus Torkoal is going to absolutely just nuke teams in Trick Room.
Totally.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
I'm 100% with you.
yeah, I'm pretty happy to put this in B tier because again, I think it's gonna need the right format, but like, and again, maybe come like some restricted and like again legendary formats, it's not the best, but in a low power format, this could definitely be like the premier Trick Room one in my opinion,
And
or at
and
least
I
one of
think,
them.
having a 4 times weakness to water, like you said, with weather it just makes it a lot harder to use, considering some teams could just hard counter you.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I guess we'll move on to it. Like, and speaking of sun, I guess another abuser of the sun here, we have Houndoom. Now Houndoom unfortunately is relegated to probably the third best Dark Fire type. Not typically very good. Its base form is pretty lackluster. Like there is options of Flash Fire, but I mean, like realistically, are you trying to activate Flash Fire? Probably not. But I do think the big issue with Houndoom in particular is its ability is solar power. So it wants to play in Sun, but the best Sun setter is another Mega Pokemon, and I think that is what really kind of holds this guy back. Its speed stats really respectable. Its bulk's not bad. It's actually like near Incineroar numbers when you think about it. Like 75, 90, 90 is not that far off Incin. But its speed and special attack and the fact that it really wants to play in Sun is where I think this mon is kind of let down. I guess yeah. Is there any thoughts you have on Houndoom?
The only thing I can really think of is, like, some of the points you already hit on, where, like, if you're not using Zard Y, then you have to rely on either Torkoal or Ninetales or something like Murkrow,
Mm,
Tornadus Eye. Like, I feel like those kind of combos, you're already taking a step back from what Zard Y can supply to any other fire type, so it doesn't feel like it's relevant enough. Like, it
yeah,
doesn't feel like it doesn't have enough of a presence. It's kind of like Arcanine Light when it's in base form, and then when you Mega Evolve it, it's like I'd rather be using Charizard.
yeah. I think like I don't want to say it's bad because, or sorry, like not F tier because again, I think like in the right situation, it's maybe okay. Like if like say for example they bring like ban formats, right? Where they say like, okay, we just played a mega format, let's ban in the top 10 megas. All of a sudden Zard Y is gone, and then it's like, wait, maybe like Houndoom Ninetales does something, right? So like
Mhm.
I don't think it's F tier. I think I'm pretty happy to put this in D because again, it's like by no means is it's not a bad Pokemon, I don't think, but it's just the only situation you want to run it in is Sun, and it's like if I have a Mega and I want to play Sun, I'm playing Zard. I'm not playing Houndoom.
100%.
So yeah, are you happy with the D tier for that?
Yeah, D tier I think is the perfect spot because it's not quite Audino. I don't think anything's
Yeah,
quite Audino.
yeah. We might. Do we get anything? I guess I think there might be one or two mons on the Audino tier, but we'll talk about that when it comes to it.
Yeah.
Um, but again, we'll piggyback off the Sun. We've spoken about two consecutive, and I think this is probably the last Sun one here. Zard Y. I'm gonna shut up. Say it. I
Mhm.
think this is easy S tier. I think this is potentially a top 3 to top 5 mega in the game. Charizard, I guess, getting all of the what do you call it? The praise from Game Freak here. Its base form really doesn't affect the fact that it wants to be a Megazard Y with Drought. But again, you're talking about a Sunsetter. This is arguably the premier Sunsetter in the game. Obviously, Crydon and Groudon might argue that. you know, that they might be a little bit better. But this is the
Mhm.
best abuser of Drought, in my opinion. Koraidon and Groudon obviously are not fire types. Zard is a fire type, and it has a ridiculous 159 special attack. I think its bulk is honestly low-key not bad. Like 78, 78, 115 is, it's not amazing, but you know, you pair this Pokemon with Intimidate, and you know, like I think me and Jack actually spoke about it recently in one of our videos, but like I think you could run this like timid or modest, like max. I could also see a world where you just play this thing like slow bulky. I think back in the day there was actually a team that did really well that was like bulky Trick Room Zardwire, which is like really interesting when you think about it, right? If you were to like run this thing like zero speed quiet, which again, obviously we don't know how that's going to function, but like it gets relatively slow, right? So there's definitely a world where it could do something there, but I mean, getting Weather Ball right is great. Heat Wave is like unreal. You get access to things like Solar Beam for the grass types. You also get access to, it gets Hurricane now as well, which I think is really interesting if you go up against Rain. Because like, you know, say they like go Pelipper, you just like Hurricane, like potentially like an Urshifu or something like that. Of course, it gets Air Slash. It did lose Tailwind recently, but I know in the past it had Tailwind, and it looks like maybe it even got it in ZA. So I guess, yeah. What are your thoughts on Zard?
I think Zard was a Pokemon that was already good, and Scarlet Violet specifically made it even better with the introduction of the ancient Paradox Pokemon. This Charizard Mega Y might be the easiest Pokemon to build around of all time if we're looking at, because I think like Brute Bonnet, we already saw Brute Bonnet and Koraidon do amazing. Roaring Moon, fantastic, covers some of its weaknesses. You could have Raging Bolt, Walking Wake, even Sandy Shocks. Like I think Sandy Shocks low key has some play to counter with Charizard if you're feeling it. And then Flutter Mane, of course. Like I
Yeah, I
think
think
the
everyone
world is now
knows
your
this is the
oyster.
this
Yeah.
is the combo. I mean, honestly, like I could even see a world where people are going things like Choice Scarf, Great Task, and you're just like going like Earthquake with
Totally.
Zard, right? Like attack booster with Choice Scarf, you click Earthquake. Like I think you're correct. Like this mon, I think in a low power format, it's already good, right? You talk about its like its ability to combat combo with things like Venusaur, right, is going to be great. You know, one of the combinations I even mentioned as well is that you go for something like a Fire Pledge, right? Where like you pair this with another starter, right? Venusaur's a great example because the way Venusaur works with it, right, is, you know, you click Grass Pledge, Fire Pledge. You essentially get to use the speed stat of the Venusaur, but because the Charizard goes second, you're using the Charizard special attack stat. But then also the way that the Sea of Fire works is it's a fire type attack, right? So you're essentially getting 160 base power fire type move from this ridiculous special attack stat. And then you're also getting the speed stat of the Venusaur, which in Chlorophyll can be like 260. So I think Charizard is like, I think Sun is just the best weather. And then on top of that, it just has so many partners. Like, it doesn't matter the format. You're gonna have a Chlorophyll mon. You're gonna have like there is gonna be some Pokemon in like any format that compare with Charizard. Like, I think this is arguably the best Mega in the game.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think it's just easy S tier. It's good.
And before we move on to the last point, like since you touched on Venusaur, imagine a world where there's a meta where you can Mega Evolve and
Oh
Gigantamax. Charizard next to Venusaur is the scariest. That is like the premier scariest
yeah,
lead.
and it's like, and again, like Venus was like a great example because like we also just got items like Covet Cloak, right? Like 3 attack plus Sleep Powder is gonna be like absurd, and then like as you mentioned
Yeah.
it, like you get Gmax Venusaur as well, so it's like I mean Gmax Fine Lash, it's like what a broken move that is.
Oh, and that is the move. Like
Yeah,
Sun is so crazy because the team cores you have counter the weaknesses to all the Pokemon that benefit from Sun, which makes it
yeah,
like
and it's
so out there
like
broken.
Venusaur's like also just like a great example because it's like when you think of Charizard, right, and you look at like the four weathers. Like Charizard doesn't care about snow. Even if like the snow team gets the weather control, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna hit you with a heat wave and you're gonna go down. But like Charizard does not want to see Tyranitar in particular. It really doesn't want to see Tita. And it also doesn't love rain. But like Venusaur is like completely fine with both of them. And then like one of the other combos as well that I've seen people talk about a bit is this guy's in the game now. So it's like, remember that Marco Silver Sun team where it was like Torkoal plus like Ursaluna? It's like
Oh yes, yes.
you can just run these two together now. It's like, oh, I have the sun mode with Charizard, but then like I can also just like run a speedy like Earthquake Ursaluna next to my Zard. So yeah, and we know Ursaluna's in the game too. So I think yeah, this one's too good. I think it's yeah, they've
Yeah.
done a great job with it, man. Um, but look, I guess we'll transition that into its best buddy, Megazard X. I am curious to see where you're gonna put this because I do think Megazard X is actually really interesting. Um, It's obviously it's not as good as Charizard Y. I don't think. Like being a mixed attacker definitely sucks, but its stats are good. Its physical bulk's really nice. It's I got better special bulk too. Well, not better than Charizard X, but sorry, Charizard Y, but in general, its bulk overall is better than that of Charizard Y's. Tough Claws with both Flare Blitz and Dragon Claw is also like really good. Like you have two really powerful stab moves. It also has access to Dragon Dance, which is interesting. I think it has Protect. You know, it gets moves like Roost as well. Gets Will-O-Wisp. Like I'm pretty sure Wolf actually won a regional with like Roost, Will-O-Wisp, Charizard X, which is like crazy to think about.
I'm totally with you on A tier here also, because by with the tough claws, like physical moves, like you're saying, to make contact, that's obviously amazing. But I also love Fire Dragon as a typing, just
Oh, it's
because
so good.
getting to hit fairy types like four or getting to resist fairy types, sorry, neutral to fairy types, and then getting to hit steel types when a dragon normally can't, it's such a
Mm.
great combo. And like a Pokemon like Reshiram doesn't have a good ability to build off of that, unlike Charizard X, which does have Tough Claws to build off of this typing.
Or even like Gouging Fire was a great example, right? Like Gouging Fire
Totally.
was never like a top tier mon, but that was a mon that was really good. And
Hmm.
and like something else I mentioned as well in like one of my recent videos is like especially early on, like Milotic with Charizard is gonna be so good because you don't want to just like spam Incin into Zard X. But like there are like other Pokemon as well that I think are just gonna be like really good paired with it. Like another one I think of like is coaching, and like Sneasel is like the first one that comes to mind. But like any like fast coaching mon, I think is going to be super good with Charizard X. Like imagine a world where like you have this attack stat with like Tough Claws Flare Blitz, and then you just like click coaching Flare Blitz. Like if you don't resist this, you're getting one tapped. Like 300 attack with like a Tough Claws Flare Blitz is going to go absolutely insane, I think.
Hmm. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, like I do think it needs a little bit of support, but like I think this is a mon that you can definitely build around, and it's going to be like really good.
And I think the problem with X, like Charizard X in general, is like they didn't really min max its stats too much like they did with Y. Like
Yeah,
the 130
this is
attack,
sad.
130 special attack is kind of a bummer because with Tough Claws, it's like I want to use physical.
Well, it's funny too you mentioned that actually, because I have seen people theorize like if they were to give this Draco Meteor, a special set actually might not be bad for best of one. Because like if you had like a set where you had like Draco Heat Wave or something like that, or like Draco Overheat, like this mod could
Hmm.
actually like low key still be like pretty dangerous. Because like there's a world where you could also leave it in base form and pair it with Sun, and you have like solar power like Weather Balls, for example. Um, or it's like okay, now you just like go Mega and just drop a Draco. That's like stab. So there's cool
And
options like that as well.
I think that's kind of like what Mega Dragonite's going to kind of slot into a little
Yeah.
bit. Like once we get to there, like I think Mega Dragonite's kind of going to be that Draco Meteor extreme speed spammer.
Yeah, which is kind of cool when you think about it. It's a cool niche,
Hmm.
but yeah, like I'm happy to keep it an A for now. Like I also think there's a world where it is potentially just a B tier on. But for now, like I'm happy to be optimistic. Like again, I think Pokemon are gonna get buffed in this game. Like I think that's something we can all kind of agree on. Is that there will be some buffs and some nerfs, and I do think Charizard being Charizard is probably more likely to get buffed than anything.
Yeah, I like Fire Dragon too, just to resist like the grass, water, fire cores. And I think
True.
with Steel and Fairy types like on the trend up as they always have been, that's just a great typing. It's
Yeah.
really good for it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Anyway, let's move over to Blastoise next. This is another one that like Blastoise is an interesting one because I could see a world where this is just not a good Pokemon, but I could also see a world where like in the right format, it's like a top threat, right? So I'm kind of leaning towards C to B. I guess what are your initial thoughts before we like jump into it?
I kind of feel like it's C tier to be honest, because Mega Launcher is really cool, but that's so difficult to get it off. And like I feel like the coverage isn't really there if you're having to rely on Water Pulse for your only stab
Hmm.
move. Like to me, that doesn't satisfy what I'm looking for with my offensive Mega.
I think honestly, my issue when it comes to like water poles is like I think I would just prefer click water spout. Like in all honesty,
Totally.
like that's the,
Hmm.
in my opinion, that's the source. And like I know people are going to talk about this guy in best of one being a menace because like if you can get up a shell smash, all of a sudden this mon becomes like omega scary. Like you look at these base stats, like if you can get a shell smash off with this guy, like yeah, that is like really scary. Like having 400 special attack with access to a potential water spout is like really really scary. But at the same time, it's like is this thing clicking shell smash more scary than something like a Terra water, you know, water spout and rain? I'm not too sure. Um,
Hmm.
I think the big thing with Blastoise is going to be like how hostile is the format towards like fake out slash redirection into a shell smash, and then eventually maybe going like water pulse, ice beam or something like that. And again, I think that's the other problem it kind of faces as well. It's like it kind of wants shell smash, but like you really need protect in VGC. But then like you kind of want water pulse, you kind of want ice beam, and then you probably need like some other coverage, whether that be like dark pulse, flash cannon, something like that. Even Aura Sphere as well. Like it has a lot of really good moves that can like abuse Mega Launcher. I'm just concerned it's going to be really hard to actually execute on it because like its bulk's great. Like don't get me wrong, the bulk is fantastic. The special attack's really solid. But I do think the speed stat is also kind of letting it down.
I think if it got a move like this would never happen, but if it got like Kyogre's Origin Pulse, because that is a pulse move, then it could end up being solid where you'd run that over Water Spout. Like I think that could be an option. I don't think they're ever going to give it that, but I think
if it got Origin Pulse, I
sorry.
think it's automatically like A or B. It
Yeah.
just becomes like and like the thing is too, the mod has really good support. Like you got to remember, it has things like Fake Out. Like I could see a world where like Origin Pulse, or like something like this could become like
it'd be
the
nuts.
meta. Like Fake Out, Ice Beam, Origin Pulse, pair it up with Incin. Like that would be crazy, but sadly it doesn't have that. So I think I'm gonna say niche for now. I think it's better than Houndoom. But I don't ever see it being like a really good mon in a format. Like technically it's like a content mon where like I'm gonna make a video with this because I know people want to see Mega Blastoise, but like I'm not building around Mega Blastoise like remotely trying to make a rank 1 push. It's like I could get to Master Ball with it. How much further past that, I don't know.
And maybe you could make some fun meme teams with Terrain Pulse. Like that's something I feel like we haven't gotten a chance to really exploit because that's a cool move. And like maybe next to Rillaboom, that is something that's pretty sweet. Like maybe you could make something happen with Terrain Pulse, but I really don't see it personally. I really don't see it.
Yeah, maybe you make it like the Avatar. It's like Blastoise plus all 4 terrain setters. It's like, which one am I going
you keep
for
switching out like Pincurchin, Rillaboom, and what is it, like Indeedee, and just hit everything.
It's the Terrain Pulse Shell Smash set where it's like, oh, I go like Rillaboom plus Shell Smash, and then it's like, what attack am I going to hit you with? That is actually kind of cool. That is like, again, like I've theorized that. Like I don't know if I ever told you. There was like a Tornadus team I was like messing around with Mewtwo in particular, where I was like, I call it like the Avatar set, where it was like Weather Ball, and then I had all 4 weathers on Tornadus.
There you go. That's awesome.
And it was like, the master of all 4 elements. Maybe we could do the Blastoise Avatar set.
I do think my last note on Blastoise, it unfortunately suffers from the fact that its Gigantamax form is way better than its base form, like Mega form or base form. And like G-Max Mega Cannonade, so good.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, we'll transition this now into the final Gen 1 starter. I actually don't think Mega Venusaur is bad at all. I think the only issue I have with Mega Venusaur is I'd probably just prefer use Venusaur. Like, it's nothing against the Mega. Like, they function very differently. But, like, I almost feel like Chlorophyll Sleep Powder is just, like, better than, like, Thick Fat. But then in saying that, a Grass type with Thick Fat is so good because it gets rid of the weakness to Fire and Ice. And it makes them on actually, like, its defensive profile gets pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like maybe a Leech Seed set with Mega Venusaur, like an offensive, like Weather Ball. Oh, I lost everything, sorry. Maybe an offensive set with Weather Ball or something like that is cool, but I think you're on the money where, like, Venusaur with Chlorophyll and having something like Covert Cloak or maybe a Focus Sash, maybe even a Wide Lens, like if you're feeling really risky on your Sleep Powders, like that just seems so much better. And running that next to Charizard Y, where you'd want to Mega Evolve Charizard every single time rather than Mega Evolving Venusaur next to Charizard, like, to me, it doesn't make sense to run Venusaur over Charizard Y.
And look, here's the thing too, like, it's like, I have theorized before that you could run a double Mega where you have Charizard plus Venusaur, but like, because the thing is, Mega Venusaur is like really, like, you could bring Mega Venusaur into like the Sand teams, for example, and it's like really solid, but it's like, why would I use Mega Venusaur as my Sand counter when I could just like have another Mega on the same team where it's like, hey, if I'm playing a T-Tar, I know I'm not bringing Zard. Like my Sun team, like Venusaur can still come into Sand, but Charizard just isn't coming into Sand. So like, why would you then not just like pick another Mega that hard beats it? Like theoretically, like a Mega Lopunny where it's like, okay, I can go Mega Lopunny, I have Fake Out, I'm really quick, I can hit the T-Tar with a CC, I can hit the Drill with a CC, whatever it might be. And yeah, like, I actually think this is decent. Like, Mega Venusaur's seen success. Like, because of Thick Fat, it only has 2 weaknesses, right? Like, it's weak to Flying and Psychic. Flying, like, while it's a fantastic type, very rare you actually have good flying types in a format. Like it's very hard to like get good flying type coverage outside of like Brave Bird. And then again, like Psychic's like it's an expanding force mon. It's like, okay, you know, maybe you just say like if I'm running this thing, like I just make sure I have a dark type. Like maybe you pair it with Incin, and that's like, okay, Incin, you're my side spam matchup. But yeah, for me it's hard to put it past it's like base form just being better.
Yeah, I feel
I
like chlorophyll. I mean, you're already getting a buff off chlorophyll, so I feel like
exactly.
that alone, like you're still upgrading if you're running it next to like a Charizard Y.
Yeah.
So the Mega Evolution Venusaur seems meh, and I think the same problem with Blastoise is again the Gmax is just so much better.
Yeah. It's like if you've got the option of Mega versus Gmax, you're taking like Gmax every time.
Yeah, seriously, they made all the Kanto starters Gmax forms just so outrageous.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because the best of them is Charizards, and it's like that would be the crazy thing. Imagine you got a format where you've got Mega and Dynamax, and it's like shit. Do I want Max Zard or do I want Mega Zard?
Yeah.
At that point, it would probably come down to restricted. It's like, okay, do I have Groudon to set the sun? Yes. Okay, I play G Max. I don't have Groudon to set the sun. I probably play Mega and Disco Venusaur.
And quick aside, imagine best of one in that kind of format where you can do Gigantamax or Mega Evolve. Like every
Dude,
time I see
you
Charizard, I'm gonna be
man,
upset.
you play like best of one closed team sheet. You've got Zard, Venusaur, Groudon. It's like shit. Is he
Yeah,
Mega
what's
or is he not?
happening? What am I
And it's
looking
like
at?
if I hold a Mega Stone, can I still G Max? It's like maybe I do have Mega Zard, but it's like I can also G Max it instead. Like who knows?
Dude, that's a tough question. They might need to balance that because I feel like
Yeah.
this is a total different conversation. But I think Dynamax and Gigantamax are way better than every other gimmick we've
Oh,
gotten so far.
100%. 100. In terms of
So
like raw power, they're the best. They're the most
yeah, and
influential.
you don't have to expend an item slot. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far in the weeds because it's a different video, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a topic for another video. But
Yep.
anyway, let's move on to your guy. I'll let you take
Oh
this
my
one away.
baby.
This is your man.
All
You
right,
can
so S
explain it
tier
to us.
easy. We're gonna go S tier all the way on Steelix
Okay,
here.
okay.
S tier for Steelix. I mean, what doesn't it have? It has an incredible defense stat. It gets wide guard. It gets body press now. It has iron defense. The only thing holding it back truly is horrendous typing and a horrendous ability. It's weak to everything. I feel like all that defense bulk doesn't help it for Jack Diddley because everything can hit it with special attacks.
Mm. Yeah,
But
even if
it's
you
like
went
Sound
like a
Event of
set
Light to
like
me. I mean,
this.
it has wide guard, heavy slam, body press. Like you can still make magic happen, but truthfully, it's probably D tier. But if you're willing to give me the concession, I'm gonna say C tier.
Look, one thing I will say going for it is it has this beautiful set. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not just the best iron defense body press mon in the game?
Yeah, I think the only one that maybe Aggron, does Aggron have a higher defense stat? Nope, Aggron's tied. So
Tied. Yeah,
it
they're
is, in my
tied.
opinion, it's tied for best.
Yeah. I mean, look, realistically, if you're playing this thing, you're going max Spadef. Like, let's be honest, you probably do go
Mhm.
like an impish nature or like a relax. Is it relaxed? Yeah, it's relaxed nature. Like, you're probably playing one of those two natures where you're still getting the buff. Like, then you get up to 500 defense, and then you start clicking body presses. Like, maybe this thing into like Ursaluna is like really good. Like, with a defensive stat like this, you probably live like a headlong rush, right? Like, am I crazy to say
Mhm.
that?
I would have
Let
to
me
think.
I actually want to check this while we're chatting, but yeah, look, I agree with you. It probably is somewhere in the C to D tier. Like I could see it like specifically like in a lower power format against like physical heavy teams. This thing's gonna be impossible to take out. I'm sure it's base body press. Like, do you reckon base body press just straight up one shots Incineroar?
It really might. It honestly might. I don't know the calcs on that, but I could definitely see it depending on like the builds.
What's
Because Intimidate, it doesn't worry about Intimidate then, which is
hmm,
awesome.
what's like a steel
And
type from this generation? From the current gen, because Steelix isn't in Gen 9. I'm just want to do a quick damage calc here. Um, why am I blanking on this? Oh, let's check Golden Go. Sorry. You keep going.
no, you're good. I think the number one thing that Steelix has going for it going into this going into Champions is the addition of Sinistcha. I've seen a lot
Oh,
of people
true.
talk about it online, and I'm also big on this. I feel like a grass ghost type where you can now invalidate opposing ground type moves, you can invalidate opposing fighting type moves and redirect is so nice. And you can always protect Mega Steelix, switch out Sinistcha, switch it back in, and do the tea time. I forget. I forget. I'm totally spacing the name of the ability.
Hospitality.
Hospitality, yes.
Mm.
And so you can keep spamming that. Like if you have if say you have like Incineroar and Sinistcha, I'm not saying Incineroar in particular is a good combo here, but you could just keep cycling Intimidate. Probably something like Salamence is actually maybe a better combo. And you could just cycle Intimidate, then cycle Hospitality, get Steelix built back up. You can use Wide Guard to protect like both of those Pokemon from spread moves like Dazzling Gleam, Heat Wave, stuff like that. Like I think there is a place for this to work, but you have to be a masochist to
Yeah,
want to
you,
do
you
that.
have to you have to work for it. I think and that's part of the issue.
Yeah.
And like honestly, fighting and ground coverage also like isn't bad. Like you can't really hit flying types, I guess. Also I've done the calc. This thing with an impish nature non-invested actually does just straight up live. Well actually hold on, I got the HP stat wrong. Give me a second. 252. Yeah, so headlong rush is a 12% chance to KO this. But a +2 body press will always KO it, and if you're +2, you always live the headlong rush. So yeah,
That's not bad.
maybe there's some source here. I do think Sandforce as an ability needs to change. I think this ability just
Mhm.
sucks as it is. Like, because the issue is it only affects the steel, rock, and ground type moves. I think if they just made it affect all moves, like maybe there's a world where like Steelix Hippo is like a really threatening Trick Room team. And
Mhm.
like yeah, it gets access to like Curse, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's like some curse like body press, like earthquake set or something you can run, rather than just like going all in. But like I could see this mon being like a decent trick room mon. Like all of a sudden, like, could you invest here? I don't know. We'd have to wait and see. But look, I'll give you niche. I know it's your guy, right? It's the channel's named after it, so I
I
will
thank you. I thank you.
yeah, we'll go there. We'll go there. But next guy here to talk about is Mega Lucario. Now Lucario is an interesting one, because I think Mega Lucario's issue is there is another Mega Lucario that might be better.
Yeah, I would agree
Um,
with you. Lucario Z is looking scary.
yeah, because like again, we'll pull up all of them here just to briefly talk about it. Obviously, Lucario Z we will talk about in our next video discussing the Mega Evolutions. In terms of abilities, having inner focus is really cool because it means it can't be intimidated on lead, which is fun. You can go in, you lead this guy, you can't be intimidated, and you can mega and then fire off some adaptability like close combats and whatnot, which is fun. Um, Also, I think my dog wants to leave. I might have to let her out in a second, but that's fine. The special set here is okay. I think the one thing going forward is its matchup into what's it called? Kang in particular. Like with inner focus close combat in its base form, it can nuke Mega Kangaskhan, which is like arguably one of the premier megas in the game. A Pokemon we'll talk about
Mhm.
shortly. And about adaptability close combat, whether it be close combat or like Aura Sphere or something of this Pokemon is very good. But I do worry that its speed stat is a little lackluster, especially for its bulk in a mega format. And also the fact that I think Lucario Z kind of outplaces it. Because of that, I think it's maybe B tier. In the right format, it'll have its niches. But more often than not, I think it's probably outclassed by this version of it.
And I forget, has Mega Lucario ever won a Worlds? I know it's been, but I know it didn't win the Worlds that I saw that it was at.
I do not think so.
So it at least has a track record where it was pretty good. Like it was good enough to make it. So I definitely give it B tier on this. And maybe there's a world where with its bad speed tier that like Bullet Punch and Vacuum Wave can somehow carry it through that. Maybe.
Also, I actually don't think Mega Lucario has ever been good in VGC, just FYI. I think it's had a couple placements here and there, but it has never been considered a good mon. I think the best thing it ever did was like there was a format where it was strictly good against Kang, and that was it. Um,
I do know it made it to Worlds at least once. I do know
yeah,
that. I watched that one. That was the Pachirisu Worlds.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think BT. I can't go any higher than that personally. I just don't think it has the bulk
Yeah, that's
for it.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll move on to another one that I think is actually quite good. And I think that is Mega Gengar. I will let you take it away because I know you and I have differing opinions on this Pokemon.
I'll just lead off. I know this is a hot take. I think Mega Gengar is still really good, so don't come at me in the comments quite yet. But I think that the world it lived in when Megas were around is far different than the world it lives in now. Shadow Tag's still fantastic, but now when you factor in things like expanding force, you factor in how speed creep has caught up to it with Pokemon like Fluttermane and Chien Pao, who now can hit it for super effective with like max speed. They always outspeeds Gengar. So I think it's coming now into a world, and like say a Pokemon like Indeedee. If Indeedee can redirect, you can't even use Shadow Ball into the Flutter Mane and stuff like that. And like expanding force, like psychic types are now protected, like Mega Alakazam. If Mega Alakazam's faster, if it has expanding force, it could one-shot Gengar straight up. So like these are all things where I think Mega Gengar is really good, but it now has a lot more it has a lot more opposition than it used to.
Yeah, and look, I think that there's a couple of different ways to look at it, right? Because you were definitely correct, right? And this is one of the big things I've seen a lot of people talk about online is they will say things like Mega Gengar is worse because of basically everything you said, right? Fluttermane outspeeds it, can one-shot it. Things like Chen Pao can outspeed it and can one-shot it. There are Pokemon like Chi-Yu now that are like potentially like a Choice Scarf. Chi-Yu can one-shot it. Things like a Choice Scarf Urshifu can one-shot it. There are a lot of things that can easily one-shot it. But Joe UX9, and I feel like I've spoken about this every time I've discussed this Pokemon, right? He made like a really good point that I really liked, which was like, if you look at this, right, this is like the speed booster set, or like almost the speed booster set that people were running recently, right? Like this was the bulky set people were running, and this like lets you live like everything on Fluttermane, right? Like if you weren't hitting it for super effective, you were living it comfortably. But you look at this, right? 160, 116. Mega Gengar hits that so easy without even trying. Like this here is the bulk that the standard Fluttermanes were going, right? So like this allows you to go for like whatever it is you want, right? Like say you want to like outspeed something like a Ogerpon, right? So it's like, okay, that's it there, outspeeds Ogerpon. It still has 200 attack, you know, it has really good speed. It lives everything it needs to. So like I think the bulk that this mon can hit, and again, I think people are going to play this mon really bulky, and it's going to be very format dependent, of course, as to how you want to build it. I do think that like the low key, like the offensive set is also going to be really sneaky, especially for like best of one stuff. But going back to what you said as well about the new tools in the game, I actually also think that kind of benefits Gengar, because imagine a world where I have Urshifu Gengar and you can't pivot. Like that to me is where this gets really scary all of a sudden. It's like, yeah, there's all these Pokemon like Chen Pao, Urshifu, Fluttermane that now like have really good matchups into it. But what happens when you pair them together? Like, what happens when my Chi-Yu is on the board with a Mega Gengar, and now you can't switch in your Incin onto my Overheat now? It's like, oh, okay, now it gets a little scary. You know what I mean? And then again, it kind of goes both ways, where the tools that are really good into Mega Gengar are also really good next to Mega Gengar. And that's where, like, for me, it's like, I think in a lower power format, you are going to see things like Perish paired up with like Incin, Rilla, and stuff like that. But then as the formats become more offensive, all of a sudden, I think you're going to see Mega Gengar paired with things like Scarf Urshifu, right? You're going to see it paired up with, you know, potentially like Choice Specs Fluttermane, Choice Specs, you know, Chi-Yu, Focus Sash Chen Pao. Like, you know, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know, I got the lead wrong, they led Chen Pao or something like that. And obviously, lead's a bit difficult, right? But, you know, say I get my Chen Pao on the board next to Mega Gengar, it's like, okay, you can't just pivot in your Incin anymore. Like, Incin's not coming in for free because you're trapped. So then something has to eat an Ice Crash or an Ice Spinner. So that's kind of where I sit with Gengar. I think it will always be good. I would not be against putting it in A tier, but I personally do think it's S.
I can concede the S tier, but I want to put some heavy like emphasis on the fact that like what you're saying. I think a lot more ghost tools specifically have gotten added. So Shadow Tag kind of takes like a little hit in that regard. If you're looking at like Annihilate or Goldango or Fluttermane, like there is now a lot more Pokemon that we've seen that can now like bypass Shadow
It's
Tag, and you can have good support with like even like Mousehold. Like I think like the combo of Mouse Ape, like Mega Gengar is going to have a really tough time into Mouse Ape personally, from what I think, because like Mousehole, you're not going to be able to use Shadow Ball onto Annihilate, and you're going to have to go for Sludge Wave if you want to hit it, and that it resists it. So it's tough. You can taunt, but if the Rage Fist comes out first, I mean, it's tough.
what happens if I just Perish Trap you?
There you go. Then that's the difference. Right? I'm still waiting for
Yeah,
the. I already know the first tournament is going to be a Wolfie
that
video where he won the
dude,
first tournament
that
with Perish Trap.
GC, the first weekend of May, I guarantee you, Wolfclick is pulling up with some Incin Mega Gengar shit. And the
Totally.
tournament's going to end, and there's going to be a nameless person who won the event, and everyone's going to be like, who won the event? Who won the event? We all know who won the event when it's nameless. When the person doesn't come forward after winning an event, you got to wait for EUIC, where Wolf is going to be like, yeah, I just kind of cleaned up 2 back-to-back events. Oh, that guy last week, that was me. But
Yeah.
then the issue, though, even if he doesn't come forward and say it was me, everyone's going to be sitting there like, wait, I played this guy. He had Incin, Rilla, Mega Gengar. Yeah, we know who it is. We know who it was.
Yep. I
Um,
agree. That's why I think leave it in S tier. but I have my reservations
It
on like I think it has a lot more adversity.
I
That's
think
all I'm gonna say.
the last thing I'll say on it as well, like in my opinion, the S tier is probably gonna be 4 to 5 Pokemon, right? And we can kind of get to it later. I think Mega
Hmm.
Gengar, without a doubt, is the hardest S tier Pokemon to play. I think if you are not like a top end player, it probably drops down to A tier easily, right? Like, I think anyone can pick up Mega
Hmm.
Charizard and make it good. I think anyone can pick up the next Pokemon we're about to talk about, and it's going to be really good. I don't think anyone can pick up Mega Gengar, but like again, if a Wolf Glick or a high level player like a Justin Tang or something like that picks it up, I think it's going to be S tier, and that's kind of where, like,
Absolutely.
again, I think it's by far more like it's probably even harder to play than Mawile, right? Like,
Hmm.
the average player is probably going to be better at using Mawile than Mega Gengar, but in the right hands, I think this mon is absolutely busted.
And I think like the big thing that I'm thinking about is like how common a Psy spam got and how
Mm,
common Ursaluna became. Like both of those Pokemon or both of those modes, like
yeah, very
Ursaluna
true.
resist or it's immune to ghost and it resists poison. And then Psy spam is just like you don't have to think, you just click. And
Yeah,
so that makes it positional awareness of Mega Gengar is going to be the hinge point.
yeah, I agree. Anyway, we'll move on to the next guy. I kind of leaked it. I think this is also an S tier mon. I think this is arguably the best Mega in the game. I do know there has been quite a bit of pushback about Mega Salamence. Just because, like, again, like as we've kind of mentioned a bunch, it's like Monday power creep has kind of crept up on it. Like Salamence as a Pokemon was not amazing throughout Scarvy. It had placements on like some rain teams, but it certainly didn't get the play I think a lot of people thought it would. But having Intimidate in its base form paired up with like the best flying type move in Pokemon being Aerodactyl Hyper Voice is kind of absurd. And also Aerodactyl Double Edge. This is just Brave Bird on crack. Coming off a very very strong Pokemon. I guess yeah. What are your thoughts on Mr. Mence here?
I'm with you on that, and I think the typing of Dragonflying is so good into like the Urshifus of the world, the Rillabooms of the world, and if you're going the special mode like you're
Insims.
typing out up there, then you're good into Incineroar as well. Like it feels like the most common Pokemon we've seen, Salamence just like walls them. Like they're not able to break that.
So this is something I've spoken about in previous videos. I think Regulation F would just be fixed with Mega Salamence, right? You look at the best team
Mhm.
in the format. Raging Bolt, you drop a Draco. Urshifu, you double resist it, you one-shot it with a Hyper Voice. Rillaboom, you resist its grass moves, you're also immune to its high horsepower, you resist its U-turn, you hit it with a fat Hyper Voice, right? Incineroar, you resist its Flare Blitz, you play special so you don't care about Intimidate, and then also, guess what? You're a Mega, so you can't have your item knocked off, right? It's like it literally is like the perfect mon into the current meta. I am super excited to one day play this with Chiyu because like it also covers Chiyu super well. Like has Intimidate, right? You get the buffed up hyper voices. And typing wise, that is great, right? You resist fighting, you're immune to ground, and then Chiyu on the other side of things resist ice and stuff like that. So I think this mon's really good. I understand why people are skeptical because again, I think like when you get into a format where all of a sudden Fluttermane is legal, it's like okay, Fluttermane Iron Bundle kind of dumpster this mon, but again, that's where like the rest of the team comes into it, where it's like I still think this is like easily S tier. It's like you have Intimidate, you have really good stats, you are the best flying type Pokemon arguably ever created. It's probably like top three, but yeah, it's like okay, like you're gonna have to patch up those weaknesses, but I don't think it's gonna be that difficult. I think it's a very good offensive piece. I am curious to see how mixed sets will go because, like, in the past, we did see sets like this where people would go like naive. I think it was with Double Edge plus Hyper Voice and like Tailwind. But again, 120 base speed. It's a great Tailwind setter. Its bulk is fantastic. It has Intimidate. Aerial Aid's busted. I think it's easy S tier.
Yeah, I think it's only the second Pokemon that has a spread flying move too, right? Like besides Bleakwind Storm on
And
Tornadus.
there's
Does anybody
and there's
else have?
no, and gotta keep in mind it's better than Tornadus as well. It can't miss. I mean, Bleakwind Storm's broken because of its ability, but I mean, 125 versus 120, like the special attack stats are almost the same. But I think with Aerial Aid, this goes up to because what would that be? It'd be like an extra
You get a
like
20% bonus, I believe, right?
yeah. So you would gain. I don't know the math on 90. It'd be just under 20. It'd be
Uh,
like 17 and a
Maybe like
half. So
108 and then 70% of
yeah,
108, something like that.
yeah. So like, but that 108 is better than Bleakwind, is what I'm saying at 100.
Hmm.
Obviously you don't have the bullshit 30% speed drop, sadly, but yeah, it does probably become the best flying type move in the game. I'm pretty sure, comfortably.
And we've seen fighting types like kind of come out of the woodwork. Like they're everywhere now. I feel like
Yeah.
fighting types are some of the scariest types in the game now.
I mean, Shifu's like right there. Sneasler
Yep.
in any non-legendary format, Sneasler's like a menace. Again, like you intimidate
Mhm.
it, you
I
one
even
tap
feel
it.
like Annihilate still.
Oh
You've
yeah,
seen so many solo Annihilate
I've
teams that are so scary.
dude, I've been saying without Terra, I actually think Annihilate becomes one of the scariest mods in the game. Like Incin doesn't have a
Totally.
Terra to hide behind anymore. Like
Hmm.
it
You
shit's
can't
about
just
to
Terra
get
normal to get away from Rage
real.
Fist.
Yeah, or even just like like Terra to like resist the close combat or drain punch, right? You could like go Terra Water, Terra
Hmm.
Grass, and then you weren't getting two shot anymore, like all of a sudden. Whereas, yeah, like you're taking super effective and it's healing everything back.
Yeah, and it's like the hardest Pokemon to switch in on too, because if you
Hmm.
just let it barrel out of control, it can just like rain hellfire on you.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to Mega Zam here. This is an interesting one because this is arguably like the most buffed Mega um of all of the originals just because of expanding force. I guess what are your thoughts on Mr. Zam here?
I gotta say, like what you're saying, expanding force changes the game for Alakazam. Now it has a spread psychic move
Hmm.
that hits like a howitzer. You can't hide behind follow me. You can't like rely on a dark type to be like, hey, like look at me. Like it has so many options now and has coverage for everything it can't hit with expanding force. It's like the what is it? The Iron Crown on steroids, basically, is how it feels to me, where it doesn't need that booster energy to be absolutely absurd.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at this Pokemon, like what Pokemon does this? Like what one is this
Hmm.
fast, does this much damage, and like when paired with Indeedee is like, this is just a broken Pokemon. Like it's, I don't
Hmm.
know how to put it.
And that's why I was thinking like Mega Alakazam becomes a huge like breakpoint for Gengar, where
Mm,
now it outspeeds it every time. It can one shot it every time. I think if the calcs are, I'm not sure what the calcs would be if they run a really defensive Gengar, but I would imagine it one shots it at that special attack with the
yeah,
boost from Psychic Surge. So
I'd have to check, but yeah, I think it's getting one tapped.
and then I think if you run like this is going to be a little bit more niche, but if you ran like a Gravity and DD next to it and you just protected Alakazam on the first turn, then you can
Yeah,
hit Focus Blast and now
yeah,
Dark types are
true.
scared of you.
Yeah, I think the only issue is female Indeedee doesn't get gravity; it has to be male. But
Oh, it has to
yeah,
be male? Okay.
yeah.
And maybe you could
Um,
run an offensive set with that. We've seen male and DD like work pretty well.
Yeah. All right. So where do you think is this like A or B? Because I think maybe it is B. Like maybe like when you start to get to the higher power levels where things like Choice Scarf Chiyu are in the game, then it gets a bit more difficult. But
Yeah, I think I'm hesitant to put it in A because of that. We don't know how good Expanding Force really is going to
mm,
be. It might still suck. Who knows? So I
yeah,
think B is a good bump because it was really
yeah,
bad.
yeah. I agree. I'm happy to leave it there. So next up is Titar. So I think one of the issues I have with Titar, in all honesty, is it's almost better just to run its like base form. It's kind of like Venusaur in a sense, right? Where it's like its Mega is fine. Like I think Mega Titar is a really good Pokemon. But at the same time, why are you not just running Titar?
For me, I think it can go either way personally because
Mm,
I see the benefit of being able to reset the sand
yes,
just
that's the
right
big
there.
one. Mm,
That to me is like that's kind of what T-Tar is like. That's its whole essence is it stays on the field, it sets the sand. Like it has knockoff, it has rock slide, and it just spams those. Because mostly you see defensive builds for T-Tar anyways. So I don't know. I to me it's kind of like a either or you're good. Like Assault Vest
I
T-Tar, great. But I also think
yeah.
Mega T-Tar is awesome.
And I think one of the things as well about Mega Titar that's probably worth mentioning is that slight buff in speed is actually really good for the Dragon Dance sets because it just means that, like, when you look at it, right, like if they're both level 50, for example, you only have 81 where this has 91. So it's like you don't have to invest as much speed to hit the numbers you want to hit, right? Like, obviously, it's very
Hmm.
like format dependent. But like something like Jolly, like what would that hit there? You would gain if you went at like +1. What's that? 67 speed. Do you get the? Nah. Oh, you would. I think you're just 1 point off Dragapult, right?
Yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head?
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know off the top of my head, but it sounds right.
Yeah. No.
Sounds
Now,
right.
now now I have to know. Now I have to know. If I go 71 Jolly at +1, I hit. I know 202. So you're not even close. Okay, you're 12 points off. A Jolly Dragapult, but I mean, Turret's still pretty good, right? Like, you outspeed like anything not named Dragapult, and like realistically speaking, like you don't care about Dragapult. Like, it's not a one you have to outspeed. Like, you're gonna take like
Hmm.
10% to its like Dragon Darts, and then you're just gonna knock it off on one shot. It. So it's like it's not a huge problem. But you are right. I think having like Mega T-Tar is really good in particular for like the Charizard teams in particular. Like realistically speaking, I don't think your answer into Charizard should be your into T-Tar should be your Charizard. Like if you're playing Charizard, I hope you have a different line into T-Tar. But like I think the mon's still good, right? Like I think it's tough because I would argue that like in a Mega format, T-Tar itself is like an ATM on. And because of that, maybe Mega Tita is also just an ATM on. Because I don't think it's bad, right? It's like you could just like I guess the other thing too is like you gotta run AV Tita, right? But it's also like Sand is also like a built-in assault vest. So it's like what like Sand plus AV technically puts this thing at like 240, where I think this guy would be 210. So I guess you're not that far off, like when you think about it in
You're
terms of
still getting
like
the defensive bulk
yeah.
from the Mega Evolution, and
Yeah, so
I think the big interaction that I care about is like say somebody does decide, hey, I want to bring Charizard in front of my T-Tar. If I'm the AV T-Tar, I lose as soon as they Mega Evolve. Like
true,
they get the
yeah.
weather, they win the weather war, they can hit me, I lose my special defense boost. But if you're also Mega Tyranitar, you can Mega the same turn and still win that. But
Yeah.
then that becomes a head game, so it's like
Do they protect the
it
Charizard
doesn't
as you
work.
Mega type thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, and then they can just Mega and ruin it right away.
Yeah, no, maybe I'm like kind of talking myself into this because like historically when I've played T-Tar, I'm a big fan of like T-Tar plus Tailwind. So like and that's like another thing we can also talk about is like the Metagross Whimsicott core that I theorized in a video the other day is very good, but it's also very Charizard weak. But it's like, well, if I'm playing like a Mega Metagross, right, I'm probably not bringing my Metagross into the Sun team. But like a Mega T-Tar on that same team, probably kind of fire, right? When you think about it, it's
Mhm.
like, because again, like I love this mod in Tailwind, and again, depending on the format, like you could run like a little bit of speed, you know, maybe like again, I don't know what you want to calc for, but like I've played Assault Vest like max T-Tar essentially before. Like a set like this is like pretty good, and like that attack stat's absurd. Like 168
Mhm.
is a massive attack stat. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I definitely don't hate it in A tier.
I think I've kind of like I actually think now that I think about it, I think it's probably better than Zard X, and it's like maybe not as good as Mawile. Like I think like T-Tar as a mon is just straight up better. I don't know if the Mega itself is better, but I think I've like kind of convinced myself this is like a legitimate ATM on.
And I think having it be such a pivotal sand setter makes it so valuable for sand cores. Like that's the
Mm,
premier sand like
yeah,
team ace basically. Like not maybe not the ace, but like the heart of it. So
yeah,
like having the ability to just reset on the fly, I just think that's invaluable.
yeah. I think I've kind of convinced myself. Like going into this, I was pretty convinced it was B, but I'm like, oh, actually, like maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Maybe it is A. Anyway, we'll move on to Banette now. I know Wolf Glick has had a really good result with Banette. I think the issue with Banette is it wants to do two very different jobs. And I think it honestly either needs a brand new stat distribution or it needs a new ability. Because a Prankstamon with 165 attack and no bulk just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like it's trying to be
It's like
Sableye, but hits hard.
yeah, it's too fast to work in Trick Room like necessarily, but it's too
Mm.
slow to like really feel the heat because you're gonna get hit by something right after. You get one hit off, but you're gone.
Yeah. And also, I just want to throw it out there. Why this didn't become a Ghost Dark type, I'll never know. Like, this should be a Ghost Dark type. Give it like
Mhm.
stab knockoff on top, and like give it like stab knockoff poltergeist, and then do you get like SD? Dude, like imagine this set here, dude. Shut up.
Yeah, that's a glass cannon that
Imagine
works
this,
right there.
this here with like a half decent ability, like give it tough claws or something, and then all of a sudden this
Yeah.
is a beast. But I think as it stands, it's not bulky enough to like be a setup sweeper, and its ability is just like too not great. Like I think this is probably not good. Like again, I think you could use it. Like there are like like Prankster Will-O-Wisp is like still a thing, right? Like it's not bad. I think it
Mhm.
gets like I think it gets taunt, right? Maybe it is just a balance breaker, right? Maybe there's like some like format where half the megas are banned and this thing just becomes like a balance breaker. Like it gets things like Cotton Guard, which is interesting. It gets Curse. Like there's some stuff like Prankster Destiny Bond also isn't bad. I'm pretty sure that's what Wolf ran on it as well. Like where maybe you pick up a carry with Poltergeist, you live on like low HP, and then you just like Destiny Bond something. It's like maybe there's something there like Prankster T Wave, Prankster like Will-O-Wisp. Like there's stuff it can do. I just don't think it's very good. I think its stats and its ability are just very counter productive.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel like you're not even gonna get a chance to really abuse the offense on this one, and
Yeah.
it's something that base Sableye can do better.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy to keep it there in the D tier. Speaking of a mon that potentially got massive buffs, I think Beedrill is like low key one of the most indirectly buffed megas because of the new tools that have been added. In particular, Indeedee and Farigiraf. Like the thing with Beedrill is it's very quick. It hits very hard, and it has adaptability. It's very min max. Like this is the most min max mega by far. I think the biggest things holding it back is like one, it's very fragile. This thing will like a quick attack is gonna knock this thing out. It's not like it's very fragile. If Banded D Knight is a thing, it needs Indeedee or Draft to like just play the game. But in saying that, insanely quick, hits insanely hard. The only other thing is it just doesn't have good moves. Like when you think about like if this thing had like Mega Horn and like Gunk Shot but accurate, I think it would be really good. It doesn't get Gunk Shot or Mega Horn. I do know one of the things people have spoken about with this is like obviously like U-turn is kind of busted on it because of its speed stat. But also Fell Stinger is like really interesting because it's like if you KO something with Fell Stinger, then you get +3 attack. And then like maybe all of a sudden it's doing something. But if you're running like Fell Stinger, U-turn, like Protect, and then like one coverage move, and like let's be honest, if you're a Bug Poison type, you need Ground. You don't get you get Drill Run, right? Yeah. It's like you kind of have to run Drill Run on this mon, which is already only 80 base power. And then it's like U-turn and then like one other move. And it's like you probably realistically want a poison move over Fell Stinger. So
That's what I was thinking. Like, I feel like
yeah.
as a bug poison, the bug type is the worst part of your whole game
Mm,
plan. Like,
yeah.
you need to maximize poison damage as much as possible. There's plenty of Pokemon like with Fairy on the rise, grass types we've seen. Like, Poison Jab, I almost feel like it has to be there.
Yeah. And look, maybe there's some formats where like, for example, an Ogerpon format, right? If we're in a format where Ogerpon is legal, you turn off this thing is going to be super valuable, right? Like you just sit there
Hmm.
chipping. Like I'd love to see the calc on it. This stat with adaptability, you might actually just straight up one shot an Ogerpon, right? Like I might even like pull it up while we're talking, but like I definitely see a world where this is good, but I don't think it's like I don't think you're playing this mon and realistically trying to win a tournament. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. Well, I think
you're,
the biggest problem in general is bug poison is one of the worst types we've seen, and it
mm,
keeps getting reran over and over and over again. But like,
yeah.
it's weak to expanding force. It's weak to heat wave. It's weak to rock slide. Like and the only like the only relevant resist that bug has like with I guess it has fighting too, but the to neutralize poisons resist to ground and like get rid of that resist on bug, like that is really painful.
Yeah, look, it's certainly rough. Just an FYI too, I've just looked at this. U-turn will actually one shot even like super bulky Ogerpon Wellspring. So like that is one thing going for it, and that's probably about it.
Yeah. I think my biggest drawback with it is when we're talking about our tier list, all of the S and A tiers pretty much wreck this thing. Like they
Yeah,
like
high
almost
horsepower.
all hit this. Yeah, that's the only one. That's
I mean, you
but
can't
like
you
if you're
high
looking at the
horsepower
Zard,
all of these.
Salamence, Tyranitar, they all just run through it.
Yeah, it's not good. Like I think I want to put it in niche because again, I think in the right format with the right tools, this one could actually be a bit of a menace. But it's a glass cannon, right? It's like it's either picking up a one shot or it's getting KO'd for some chip. Like that's kind of where
I
you put it.
I guess my concern is like somebody could just like offer up their Ogerpon, take out your Mega Evolution, and then it's
Mm,
over.
yeah, and that's probably part of the issue. Like maybe it is probably just not good.
I feel like I'm going not good because I think it's another Pokemon that's also an expanding force victim without any
Yeah, true.
upside.
I mean, you say it's an expanding force victim, but is Indeedee not a victim of that U-turn?
It is, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
another
yeah,
one where I'm
dude.
thinking you could just offer up Indeedee, take out their Mega, and
But you
then you're
just
still hitting both Pokemon.
But you just U-turn. A max
That's
bulk
okay. I
Indeedee
see
gets
you.
one
Maybe
tap by
Mega Alakazam's
U-turn.
the only one that can do it.
Yeah. I mean,
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
mm. Yeah, but no, Megazam is like outspeeding and one-shotting you anyway. So yeah, I get that. We'll move on from there. Gallade is actually another interesting one because Gallade is the prime example of a mega that needs a buff. Otherwise, it's useless. One of my subs is a big Gallade fan. Shout out Benji. Big Gallade fan, and I spoke to him about this a little while ago. He's basically told me if Mega Gallade does not get sharpness, which it doesn't get sharpness, by the way, I believe it has inner focus. If it doesn't get sharpness, just play regular Gallade. Apparently, regular Gallade just does way more damage than so like apparently Choice Scarf Gallade does more damage than Mega Gallade without sharpness. So it's like if this thing doesn't get sharpness, it's probably just not good. But if it does get sharpness, then all of a sudden this is a beast of a Pokemon because that attack stat with sharpness is kind of absurd, especially when you have things like Sacred Sword and Psycho Cutter that both like get the boost.
I really wouldn't be shocked if they did change it to sharpness because I mean, if
think they
they're willing to
will.
do that for Gallade, I believe
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, 100%. And again, like we talk about it, like I'm sure we've all been there where we've eaten like a Psycho Cutter from a Gallade in like psychic terrain. It's dumb. Like, and then you factor in this where like this thing potentially with like essentially a choice band, right? Like getting a choice band damage on top of these is kind of absurd. And it has a
Mhm.
ridiculous attack stat as it is. Like this is one of those mons where if it was to get sharpness, you don't have to invest in attack. You can bulk this thing out. Where like maybe you play something like this Adamant, and then it's like you pair it with Indeedee, you go like max HP, you find whatever speed stat it is you need to hit. And then yeah, this thing could be an animal. But again, I think that's purely speculation. As it stands, I think C tier. I don't want to go any higher than
Yeah.
this. I think if it does get sharpness, it probably becomes a B tier. But as it is right now, I'm probably it's honestly probably D tier, but I'm willing to give it C just because I think it will get sharpness.
I do think inner focus as a mega evolution ability really is a bummer because if you get intimidated by like say you have Incineroar come out and like you're able to get rid of the fake out pressure, but you're already intimidated. So
Mm.
like Gallade is intimidated on switch
Yeah,
in. So that's the worst
yeah.
part.
And I think like maybe if like I don't know, like maybe if it had like inner focus in base form, then you could go like inner focus and then like mega. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? C or D? Like I part of me thinks maybe it is just D tier because like we don't know if it's actually going to get sharpness or not.
I think as of now, if it does just keep inner focus or what is it? Yeah, inner focus as its mega ability, I think it is D tier. It might be on the upper side of D tier, but it's still D tier.
Like I think if it doesn't get sharpness, I think Beedrill's better, which
Yeah,
is crazy to
yeah.
say.
Honestly, I can see it. I definitely agree with you on that.
All right, that's fine. We will move on to Mega Gyarados. Again, another victim of its base form is probably just better than it. I I want to say B tier. Because again, I think the difference between Mega Gyarados and regular Gyarados is Mega Gyarados is more offensive. Like you're probably not playing it as a support. Where like in its base form, Gyarados is going to be like an Intimidate. It's like Waterfall. It gets things like Taunt. It gets things like Thunder Wave. Where it's like if you're playing base Gyarados, it's more of a support set where it's like there to support the team. Whereas if you're playing like Mega Gyarados, you probably want like just like Wave Crash. You probably want Crunch, and then you probably want like Dragon Dance. I will say if for whatever reason it ever does get Wave Crash, which I'm kind of shocked it doesn't have already, it probably becomes a lot more viable because like these stats are really good. Like Mega Gyarados is like a setup sweeper is it's kind of nice, right? Its bulk is insane. 95, 109, 130 is like crazy bulk. 155
Mhm.
attack is very good, especially with access to moves like Dragon Dance. And then 81 speed is really respectable. You can easily hit speed tiers you need to with like Adamant or Jolly, right? Like depending on the format, like maybe you're not hitting Calyrex tiers, but like again, I don't think this mon has to DD in front of a Cali when you can just crunch it.
I agree, and I'm a sucker for any mega evolution that has a base form that has intimidate. I think that
Oh
just
yeah.
adds another layer where like maybe Mega Gyarados' defense is it's still good. 109 is still great, but when you add intimidate to that, it makes it excellent, which is awesome. But
Mm,
like you like that set you just have up there, I feel like Gyarados that we saw in Scarlet Violet was way more of a support than it ever
yeah.
was like the main threat. Like it was just
Yeah.
there to like keep the team rolling, and it would just be switched in, switched out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Gyarados, like the beauty of a mon like Gyarados is it benefits in every format. Like a set like this is really good in just like a base format. This mon was a really good Dynamax abuser. I don't know how well it did in singles in particular. Sorry, in VG in particular, but I know in singles, it was like one of the absolute best Dynamax mons because of like Moxie plus the max flying move. Also
Mhm.
in Z move formats as well. It had Supersonic Sky Strike, like it was actually able to click a flying move, which made it really good. So Gyarados is like always just going to be a good Pokemon no matter what. But I do think its Mega is probably more format dependent. Again, I think this is really good. You can't look at this bulk and tell me this is bad Pokemon, right? It's intimidating
Yep.
way bulkier than Incin. Mold Break is also like never bad. Like there are worlds where this guy just like earthquakes like Rotoms and stuff like that. So I think it's B tier. It's probably at the like if I had to like tier this out like between these guys, it's like maybe something like this where it's like probably better than these two, not as good as Zam. But like its base form is like easy the best of all four.
Yep, I'm happy with that. I think the dark type edition too in the world of Psy Spam is always great. So
Yeah,
that'll
and
be one
changing
thing to
types
look
is always a
for.
good thing. Like that's something else
Yeah,
worth
that'll
mentioning.
that'll be something to look for. Getting rid of the 4 times weakness to electricity and just getting that psychic immunity is that's good in my book.
Yeah, I agree. We'll move on to Mega Chomp. This is an interesting one, right? Because part of me almost thinks it's literally just like a D or F tier. I don't know if you know, but apparently, like in the Terra Leak, it was found that Mega Garchomp base, I guess, was originally meant to be 112 speed, like it was meant to get a 10 speed increase. But they were like, apparently, it just seemed like they were too scared to actually give Garchomp more speed, so they actually took its speed, which is very sad. Um, my thing with this is just run Life Orb Garchomp. Like this is literally just a better Pokemon. Like you have a look, it's like, yeah, technically it doesn't gain some of the bulk, but it's like it's faster with a Life Orb, it hits harder. Like I think you just play Garchomp like base form, or you play Garchomp's new tool, which is Garchomp Z, which is really, really fast.
Mhm. And I
Yeah.
think Garchomp Z has the benefit of losing the 4 times weakness to ice, and then it also gets its resistances back to grass and water, which
Mm.
is incredible.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's probably D tier. Like I actually think you could argue this is F just because it is so inferior to its base form.
I'm with you on that. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's kind of like T-Tar where you'd rather use the base form, but at least T-Tar has the benefit of being like, no, but the Mega does have options, whereas this
Yeah.
one doesn't feel like it does.
I think the only reason I would put this in D tier over F is because this is not a bad Pokemon. Like this is actually really good, right? It's just
hmm
this is so much better that it just makes this not worth it. It was like if Garchomp didn't exist, Garchomp like Mega Garchomp would be good, but because this exists, it's just never worth running Mega Garchomp.
Yeah, and if you are running the Sandvale set, I feel like Mega Tyranitar is
Yeah,
just better in general to
exactly,
have next to
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, we'll move on to Kang. This is from what I understand a pretty bad no, Kang is very good. Mega Kangaskhan is arguably the best mega in the game. It has received some nerf over the years. But I guess yeah, what are your thoughts on Big Kang?
For me, the Big Kang is kind of like the opposite of what Gallade had, where it gets to have inner focus first. So it doesn't lose its attack, or it can't be faked out, and it can't be intimidated at the beginning. And I see what you're saying, the scrappy 100%. Being able to click fake out into a ghost type, excellent, excellent, excellent. There's nothing bad about that. That
Well,
is, and in this format where you have Flutter Mains, you have Mega Gengars, that's going to be
Goldangos.
excellent to have.
Yeah, it's funny because like both being immune to intimidate now is huge because I believe when Mega Kang was around last, neither were immune to intimidate. It was just inner focus was only flinching and Scrappy was only hitting ghost types. Whereas now they both have intimidate, so it's like maybe you're in a format where something like fake out Sneasler is everywhere, and then it's like okay, maybe I want inner focus so I can like make sure I get my fake out. Or maybe it's just like,
hmm
oh, Fluttermane, Goldango, Aegislash, Mega Gengar, they're everywhere. Okay, I'm just going Scrappy fake out like turn one. You also like outspeed things like Incin, so you're gonna have the faster fake out all the time. So that's really good. So like base form is like insane because now you can't fake so you can't intimidate Kang on turn one. But I mean, this is just like look at this stat spread, man. The 5 stats it uses are all 100 or higher, and then like while it's like 125 attack is not amazing, like realistically it's not amazing. Parental Bond just gives you like a free 25% damage, so it's like almost like a mini like life orb in that sense. But then you also just like anything that can proc something just has a second chance to proc it. So like Power Up Punch now becomes Swords Dance, right? Bite now becomes a 50% chance to flinch, right? Double Edge now becomes like a 150 base power attack before stabs even factored in. So like
hmm
this Pokemon is just, you know, again, like you don't even have to click fake out. Like you could run a set like this, which is kind of crazy, right? Where it's like, you know, power up punch, like technically becomes like it would become like a 50 base power attack, but then it's like also there's like the +1 in between. So it's like technically becomes a little bit better than like 50 base, but like having like a swords dance that also does like 50 to 60 base power is kind of absurd.
And
Then
I
it's
even
like,
feel like the switch in, switch out, stab, fake out could
yeah.
be like really great chip.
Hmm. Well, again, you're talking about like essentially like a 50 base power attack that has like +2 priority that also fakes out. Like it's good,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah,
very
it's so
good.
good. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
this is
I
gonna be
think
an all-star.
yeah, like again, I do think Mega Kang as the power level rises, like maybe gets a little better just because of how many good fighting types we have in the game now. Um, but in saying that, without a doubt this mod's up there. It's a stat stick. It does so much damage. It has great coverage. Like that's another thing we didn't even talk about it, right? Like you don't even need power up punch. This guy gets like low kick, right? I think it gets like ice punch. Yeah, like this being a normal type that's from Generation 1, it gets so much coverage that like Kang is just never going to be bad. Like this thing, it gets
Mhm.
everything, right? Whatever you need, it's got options, right? It gets Rock Slide 2, right? It gets like Sucker Punch. Yeah,
I even
it's
feel like
Fake
double
Out, Rock
seismic
Tomb.
toss if you're running a super
Oh
defensive
yeah,
set isn't
yeah,
that bad.
yeah. Like that's just a guaranteed 100 base power, right? Because the second one
Mhm.
wouldn't be reduced by the damage output. Um, but yeah, that's a S tier mon if you ask me. We'll
Absolutely.
move on to Guardy. One of the interesting things with Guardy, so I was actually talking to Jack about this in one of my last videos, is in any non-Fluttermane format or like any non-restricted format, this is probably the best fairy in the game. Like I think Mega Gardevoir is probably the third best fairy in Pokemon. And yeah, like it's really good. It turns out Pixelate Hyper Voice, very similar to Salamence, is kind of broken. And when you have 165 special attack, it makes it even more broken.
Yeah, it's like a better Sylveon basically. Like this is like you'd be running Sylveon the same way, but this just does it better. And yeah, expanding force and hyper voice on the same set is so scary. That is frightening.
Yeah, and like there's gonna be sets like this where it's like Hyper Voice expanding force, but then it's like, oh, you lose to Steel types, but like this Pokemon also just got mystical fire recently, so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think like with when it comes to Guardy, there's not much we need to say. This is the best fairy type in the game. I don't think like
Mhm.
there's like no new Mega Fairy type that rivals it, right? Like, am I crazy?
I'm trying to think. Is there we got Mega Clefable, which doesn't come close.
Oh,
Mega
sorry.
Meganium doesn't come close.
There is competition now. You're right. Like Clef and Meganium are two that actually give a competition. The one I am actually forgetting is Eternal Floette. If that thing is legal, which it looks like it will be day one, like we already know that Floette is going to be available for anyone who owns Scarlet and Violet. Legends EA. So
Mhm.
maybe Floette actually does compete with it actually for that number 3 fairy slot. But I think Hyper Voice or having Spread Fairy is going to be like it's essentially Dazzling Gleam on crack, right? It's like Dazzling Gleam with like
Mhm.
110 base power. So it's a
And
lot
I think that's
stronger,
the edge it has on
and it goes through
Meganium and
sub.
Clefable, where like we don't know what they have yet, to be fair. But I feel like Pixelate Hyper Voice like outclasses D Gleam if that's all they're stuck
Mm,
to, like by
yeah,
far.
exactly. And I am with you on that. I think this is top of A tier. I don't think it quite breaches the S tier, but it's certainly up there as like arguably the best fairy type in the game.
Absolutely.
I don't know if this is one we actually want to talk about in Mega Diancie. Um, it's a mon that like we probably will never see in VGC. Do you have any thoughts on it? Like, I don't know if it's even worth talking about, just
I
because like
I
we
think
probably
the
don't
only
see
thing I
it.
really want to say about it is like what's the Diamond Storm, I think is its signature move.
Yeah.
Like spamming Diamond Storm once you're mega evolved and having Magic Bounce is just it's so nice. You can like Magic Bounce means you can't get taunted, so you can Trick Room easy. Stuff like that. I think it's amazing. It's gonna be really good. We'll never play it, but it's gonna be really
Yeah.
good.
I don't think it wants Trick Room either because it gains speed when it megas. The only thing though is I think this is probably a mixed mon because I don't think it actually has like good fairy coverage on the physical side. Yeah, it's like play rough. So it's like you probably want like Diamond Storm Moonblast and then like something else, which is like the interesting thing about it. Um, yeah, I don't really know where to put it. I'm just gonna say good in the right format simply because it has to be in a format to be played.
You are
Like,
correct. And sorry, I didn't realize it got to 110
yeah.
speed. I had no idea. I
Yeah.
knew
No,
base
yeah. It gains like 60 speed when it megas.
that's crazy. I knew base Diancie loved Trick Room. I've never used Mega.
Mm. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm happy to put it in B tier. Again, it's a mon we're probably never gonna play with, let's be real, but
Yeah, that's
we'll put it
fine.
there.
Fine by me.
Alright, so next, Mega Glalie. Um, this might be our second content mon.
Yeah,
Like,
what are you even running on this? Explosion
oh yeah, no,
refrigerate?
it's
Is
just
that like the
boom. Yeah,
only set?
you literally you go boom for the content. That's literally it.
Oh my gosh.
It's because
And maybe
it's
you could set up
refrigerate.
Moody ahead of time and have it be a lot of fun just
Yeah.
randomizing your stats.
Yeah, maybe that's what you do protect, but I mean, it's base 100. It's not quick. Like again, you look at the metamons, right? You're getting one tapped here. I mean, yeah, you're good here, but it's like, do you really like how well do you take a hyper voice plus a friend's attack?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. Like this thing, you've got refrigerate, you've got explosion. Like that is your niche. You're just going boom. Do you get like double edge?
It
It's
does have
something
double
there.
edge,
Okay, that's something there, I guess. Do
but
you get
still, it just
like
doesn't feel valuable. I think they had to nerf it because of Moody. I think Moody's kneecapping this one. Like they couldn't make it good.
yeah, I don't know. It's like it's tough. Like it's close. Like it's a the other thing. It's a mixed attacker as well. Like I think if they just dropped like the special attack down to 80 and then put like 20 in each of its defenses, then like maybe it's okay. Where it's like okay, it's like relatively bulky, has a decent speed stat. You know, it's got some stuff it can do with refrigerate. But realistically, I think this thing just goes boom. Like you look at its physical attacks here, it's like it's not great, right? Like maybe if it was a
Mhm.
steel ice type, like maybe if they slap the steel type on it because it seems to have all the steel moves. That could be
I'm
kind of
surprised
cool,
this one
but
isn't a ice dark type, to be honest with you.
yeah, even yeah, ice dark, right, with something like crunch, I think could be kind of cool. But I think
Mhm.
it's just a content one personally. I don't think it's very good.
Yeah, I don't see myself ever using that legitimately.
Um, I think we can rank these two together. I don't know how much you know about the Lardies, but my understanding is like Soldu is like just better than the Megastones. I think.
That's fair. Honestly, I haven't used these before, so I don't know like what the importance of using Latios over Latios. Like I know it's kind of like a bulk versus offense, basically, like
Mm.
they already are. But I do feel like support Latios better, and then I could see Soldu Latios just also being way better.
Yeah, it's like if you like look at like the male one for example, it gains 40 to its attack and 30 to its speed. Sorry, its special attack. So like they're wasting 40 points on this. It doesn't gain any speed, and it's essentially the same thing here, right? It's like yeah, it gains a little bit of bulk and becomes a bit bulkier. And I do think Mega Lady Ass was better because it was like a better Calm Mind setup mon. But again, it's like at that point you just play like their base forms with like an item. It's like that's
Yeah,
literally
I mean,
like what it comes down to.
Mega Latios just looks like a little bit better version of Lugia.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's kind of how it is. And like the megaforms are the exact same, which is really funny. But yeah, it's like I don't know, like there's not much to say about them. I think their base forms are just better. It's like if you're gonna play and play their base forms, you could use them. That's why I got them in niche. It's like they're good Pokemon. I'm not gonna sit here and say they're not, but it's like they're not amazing anyway. It's like yes, they're good. Their stats are nice. They're never gonna dominate a meta. They're always gonna be niche as it is, and yeah, I think it's shit. They're niche
Hmm.
mons. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I'm with
really
you on
go
that.
further than that.
Yep, I'm
Next
fine with
up
that.
though, we have Lopunny. This is another one that's actually quite buffed, I think, in this generation. I don't know exactly where I would rank it just yet. We can kind of get to that here, but Lopunny is it's got Scrappy now, which is kind of cool. In its base form, this Pokemon's pretty bad. It doesn't really have any usable abilities, like literally nothing. But
Mhm.
as a normal fighting type with 135 speed, it's very good. It's Scrappy, which means it can hit things like you know, Aegislash and Goldango with close combats, which is pretty fun. I think it gets like double edge, right? Dude, doesn't even get double edge. Hold on, maybe this isn't a good one. What's your best normal type move, brother?
Ooh, it
Keep your
gets fake out. I didn't
impact,
realize I got
last
fake out. That's kind of
resort.
cool.
Yeah, it gets fake out. That's another big one for it. Yeah, it doesn't actually really get any good normal type moves. Hopefully they give it something better because I like it doesn't even have like body slam, which is crazy. I don't really want to run headbutt on this thing, but okay, maybe its lack of normal type coverage actually kind of changes my opinion on it. Um, I feel like it definitely needs double edge or it's gonna be bad. But like double stab, fake out, protect, like maybe okay. It hits hard. Its bulk's actually not bad. Like 65 is not great, but 94, 96 is okay. Um, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on it?
I think at the very least, like what's coming to my mind right now, it's really cool into Goldango. Being able to click
Yeah.
close combat into Goldango is awesome. Like
Or
that's going
even
to
just
be a
like
huge.
I think faking out a Fluttermane and forcing it to be speed booster or like Tim and Max speed is also kind of cool as well.
Absolutely. I think it's got like a cool option. I don't know if I'm in love with it, but I could definitely
Mm.
see why somebody would use it.
Yeah, I think I'm going with C tier. I think it's probably niche. It's probably like high end of C tier, like realistically, but yeah. I can't really
I'm with
see
that.
myself putting it any further than that. Another mega that I mean, realistically, we're not going to see it often, but when we do see it, it is probably up there as like a really good mega, right?
I feel like it's got to be S tier, doesn't it?
I don't know if I can say it's S tier because I don't think it's a top 3 to 5 restricted. Like, because you got to think about it. When it saw play, it was number 4. Like the last time it was good, Kyogre, Groudon, and Xerneas were all better than it. Now we have both the bikes. Now we have the 2 dogs. We have the Callies. Like, I don't think it's a top 5 restricted in a format. And if it's not a top 5, I don't know if I can put it in S tier. But
Correct
in
me if
saying that,
I'm
it's very
wrong.
good.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to hold an item to Mega Evolve, right? It just has to have Dragon
No, so
Ascent.
that's the, because I think when Wolf won, he had Focus Sash.
Yeah, because he was Dragon Ascent on it, right?
Yeah.
That's the one caveat I have is I feel like Mega Rayquaza automatically gets bolstered as soon as the primals, like Primal Kyogre, Primal Groudon, as soon as they're
Mm,
allowed. I think Mega Rayquaza ends up becoming one of those Pokemon that like is like the stopgap to like countering them. Like
yeah,
we used to watch at least I used to watch a lot of formats like back in Wolf's era where it was like the double primals or it was one primal and Mega Rayquaza. And I feel like that was like the go-to. They even made a whole new ranking for it on Showdown with anything goes, like you just flashed. And
yeah.
I obviously that's a singles deal, but I feel like Mega Rayquaza is so valuable with the fact that it gets its item slots still. Like I still think it's really good.
No, and I agree. That's why I'm comfortable to put it in the A tier, just because again, I think it is very, very good. But like when I look at some of these top threats, like you got the Crown Zama and what's it called? Crown Zamazenta and Crown like Zacian, which are both like pretty good. So I'm literally just trying to like find a dex where I can like look at them all together. So I wanted the
Oh yeah,
primals,
I
but
know, I get it.
I've realized that I'm probably not going to be able to see them all in one dex. Yeah, so like I think both Kyogre and Groudon are better than it. What? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was Ultra Necrozma on its level? Like I never played a format with Ultra Necrozma. Like obviously we'd need Z moves for it to be there. Like I don't know if it's on that
Oh
level.
man, I
Um,
I I don't think so. I don't remember though now. Like
yeah.
I never really played with Ultra Necrozma. Also, to be
Mm.
fair,
Yeah, me either, to be
but
honest.
it's
But
hard for me to say.
like, yeah, I look down the list and it's like, I think Kali Shadow and Kali Ice are both probably still better than it. I think Zama. So I think you could maybe argue it's better than Koraidon, but I don't think it's better than Miraidon. I think Miraidon's better. I think the 2 primals are better. Like I could see like at best, like maybe you say this is like 5th best restricted, but I think it's like between 5th and 7th, and that's why I kind of think it's A tier. Um, but
I think that's fair. If you bring in like historical context, I think like
yeah.
with what we've seen now, I think that does trump like what we saw in the past.
Mm. And look, and again, it's not a bad one by any means, but I do think having like potentially a wasted stat as well with its like 180s in its 2 offensive stats are like it's a bit iffy. But again, having like 180 attack with a life orb does just straight up make this the strongest Pokemon in the game. Not even close. Like in terms of damage output, it's crazy. Obviously we saw
Hmm.
Sash is really good. Delta Stream also worth mentioning gets rid of the flying type weaknesses, so you lose your like so ice now becomes only like super effective, and like electric also becomes resisted, which is like worth throwing out there.
Hmm.
um very good in that regard. It gets access to things like Swords Dance, right? It gets extreme speed. Honestly, you know what I just thought about? Maybe this thing with Chen Pao is good. Maybe
Well,
banded e-speed
yeah.
off like 180 is maybe good. But yeah, it's got a lot it can do, right? It can go special with Draco Meteor. It does just straight up have the best flying type move in the game. I think this is the only thing probably better than Hyper Voice off Salamence. Just it's flying type close combat. It's broken. Like
Hmm.
it's really good.
Yeah,
um,
I think we're gonna see it's gonna splash. I think it'll
yeah.
be splashable. Will it win big tournaments? Maybe,
Ooh,
but it's gonna be splashable.
and look, that's the thing. Oh, I just realized my camera just died again. God damn. All right, turn it off. Unfortunate. God damn.
Are you
It
paused right
happened.
now?
No, I'm not. I'm not. It's what happened the other day. We're like, I don't know how
Oh,
far into the recording we are technically, but like, yeah, the camera lasts like 2 hours, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. But I think any format where the primals are good, Ray is always going to be splashable, right? You can always throw Mega Ray onto a team that, like, say your Kyogre or Groudon matchup is bad, you just slap Mega Ray and it just fixes it, right? It fixes both of them as well.
absolutely.
It's like again, like maybe like you're playing Miraidon, right? And it's like you're Kyogre, you're set with Kyogre, but you're not set with Groudon, and it's like, okay, I have Ray, I'm now set with Groudon. But
Yep.
in saying that, you're probably gonna play like Miraidon Kyogre anyway. But yeah, I think it's splashable. It's a good one, right? I think it does come into that, like, again, as I said, it's probably somewhere between top 5 to top 7 restricteds, which is still really good because I do think the top 10 restricteds in a primal format are all really good.
And I do agree with you on what you said about Zacian. I think that's something that it never had to deal with was the Fairy Steel type, really. Like, obviously, Mawile was there, but that wasn't as used because of Groudon. So I think that Zacian now being a restricted makes Mega Rayquaza a little scared.
Yeah. And especially too, like Zacian, like I think there's a world where Zacian gets unnerfed after this gen because they nerfed it and then it was really bad. And then it's like, well, okay, if it's really bad, maybe we unnerf it. Because it's like, I think Zacian in a D-Max format is going to be like broken, but in any other format, it's not.
That's what I thought was the problem.
Yeah.
It already got nerfed without having that
Yeah.
because it wasn't in D-Max anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But let's move on to another pretty broken one. I think this is another Pokemon that is in contention for the best Mega in the game. Obviously received some of the biggest buff of all the Megas, and that is Mega Metagross. What are your thoughts? Like, obviously we saw, you know, in the last gen he had Iron Head and he had Zen Headbutt. Now he has Heavy Slam and he also has Psychic Fang. So just 2 direct buffs to was already a really good Pokemon.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head with what I was going to say. Like those 2 moves alone, like kind of changed the whole dynamic of going into Metagross, especially with Tough Claws, like because those are both
Boosted.
contact moves, I
Yep.
believe. So
And
having that boost on top of that, like this thing is bonkers. Like Steel Psychic is so good, so good.
the other thing too, like I forget if it was you or someone else I was talking to about this the other day, but if you look at the only Pokemon that don't take like max damage from Heavy Slam are literally either like restricted legends, which are like whatever, right? Or it's like Pokemon who resist this. Like any Pokemon close to Metagross's like weight is like probably a Steel type, which means you're probably not clicking Heavy Slam on it anyway.
Mhm.
So this thing is like almost always just going to be like max damage Heavy Slam. And then it's also like Psychic Fangs is now like really, really good as well. And yeah, Tough Claws is just broken. Its stats are insane. Its bulk is crazy across the board. Its speed stats are really good. I think this is easiest tier. I think this is one, without a doubt, one of the best Megas we have in the game.
Yeah, you're not going to get any gruff from me on there. I agree 100%.
But yeah, I think we can leave it there. It's very good. Mega Manectric, I think this is one we probably don't have to spend too much time on. I don't think it's very good in its base form. Getting Intimidate is kind of cool when it megas, but I guess, yeah, is there anything you have to say about Mega Manectric here?
No, I think the 135 speed tier used to be really cool, but it's gotten less cool as the years have passed. So now your speed tying max speed Fluttermanes, your speed tying max speed Chanpaos, stuff like that. I feel like most Pokemon like that you're like kind of going against like Choice Scarf, Lando, that's gonna just crush you. Even with the Intimidate, I just feel like it's cool. It's a cool buff. I like the Pokemon. It's just there's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, it probably needs a really low power format, but like again with this speed stat, it's like you can like Volt Switch Intimidates, but like I'm sure there's better options, and its special coverage isn't bad. It does get things like Flamethrower, but like you look at how shallow its move pool is, it's like you get Flamethrower, you get Signal Beam, like that's it. So it's
Mhm.
like, you know, you don't really have coverage. Like, yeah, it's cool that you can hit grass types, but you can't really hit rock types. I mean, I guess electric, but yeah, I think it's probably niche at best. It actually is probably just not good, right?
I would say probably not good. I'm with you on the D
Yeah.
tier here.
Yeah. Okay. Another one that actually is kind of interesting now though is Mega Bomber Snow. Obviously you got the snow buff, which is really, really nice. Didn't have that previously. I think the minus speed dropping down to 30 is really good, especially in formats where potentially we will not have Torkoal. Is kind of cool. And I think as a mixed attacker, it's pretty strong. It's really bulky. As long as you have something to answer fire types, I think this mon actually is kind of cool.
And I like it into the Ursalunas too. Like we've seen the Ursalunas become huge threats, and this is slower in Trick Room. So if you can set Trick Room, or if your opponent sets Trick Room, Mega Abomasnow is love and life.
Yeah, I don't know what you would run as like a third coverage move on this. Like you probably need something to hit. Oh, do you get Earth? Yeah, okay. You get Earth Power to hit Steel types. Yeah, this seems like a good mon to me. Like even if you would have run like Energy Ball or Giga Drain here, I do think this is like I think this set like here could be like really devastating on a Trick Room team.
And I think it has the same benefit as T-Tar, where it gets to do Snow Warning first, and then it can
Yeah,
Mega
it gets to
Evolve and
reset
do
it.
it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
Yep.
now this is, and also again, like when you're no speed, it's so nice to be able to invest into HP. Like 90, 105, 105 is really good bulk. Like this thing's bulkier than Instant. Like obviously has a way worse type, but I actually do think this could be like a legitimate B tier, like in the right format where it's like maybe not too powerful. This could be like a really good Trick Room mon.
Yep, and I apologize if you already said it, but the defense boost from the snow, the new snow rework is so good for
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, this becomes an absurdly high defensive stat with 105 plus a 50% boost. Crazy.
Absolutely.
Um, Next up, Medicham. I think this is like another really niche mon, right? Like it does get a speed boost, I think, from its base form. Because I think it's it goes from 80 to 100, which like 100's a lot better when you're playing with like huge power, but it's probably a mon that wants to be jolly. It does have like fake out. It gets like it gets decent coverage with like ice punch and whatnot. Does it get psychic fangs? Didn't get Psychic Fangs, which means it probably has to click like Psycho Card. It got CC, yeah, it gets CC. So like there's stuff it can do. It's like also a faster skill swap mon now as well, which is something I don't think it's very good. Its bulk is very lackluster and its damage is cool and all, but like I don't know. Is there anything you want to add to it?
To me, I mean, maybe it's a better Gallade. Maybe it's a better Gallade. If Gallade doesn't get sharpness, like it has a higher attack stat, it's a little slower, but I don't know.
Way
I feel
less
like I guess one
bulky.
on one, maybe Gallade wins that fight, but I
Yeah.
don't know. The pure power kind of puts it above for me.
Yeah. I look, I would say it's like a niche. I'm happy to like keep it here for now because I agree. Like I think if Gallade gets sharpness, it's better. Without it, it's worse.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
All right, we'll move on to the Mewtwo's. I think these are two just completely Alcret mons. I don't think either are good. They're only ever playable in a format where Calyrex Shadow is also playable, and because of that, I don't believe in either of them.
I think at least Mega Mewtwo Y is cool as a expanding force mon. Like you could make it happen, but
Just
I'm with you. The Mega Mewtwo X doesn't move the needle for me. I
like
don't see anything special about it.
this Pokemon is literally just worse than a Life Orb Calyrex Shadow. Calyrex Shadow is faster. It
That's
has
fair.
Astral
That's fair.
Barrage. It has a stronger
That's
expanding
fair.
force. Like honestly, they're probably just a straight up content. Like the fighting one doesn't even get close combat. Like how are you gonna be a fighting type in a like Zamazenta meta without close combat? Like I'm sorry. Like yeah, this is cool. It just plays Zamazenta. It's faster and it hits harder with body press. Like it's
Does it
yeah.
even have Drain Punch or anything like that?
I think it gets Drain Punch bulk up. Yeah, it gets bulk up too, right?
Okay,
And like
that's something. That's something, I
like
guess. But I'm with you.
honestly,
Close combat, you need it.
these are two Pokemon where like the easy solution for this is they both need complete reworks. Like I think the reason they're not as min max as they should be is because they were the first and only restricted to get megas. Like technically, this got a mega before the primals, right? So it's like they
Mhm.
kind of wanted to like screw it over. Like again, they give Mega Mewtwo Y 40 attack. If they go and give this thing 20 more speed and then 20 more defense in place of that attack, then all of a sudden we've got something to talk about, right? If it gets a
Mhm.
better ability than Insomnia, we have something to talk about, right? Like one thing I've always said base Mewtwo needs is Neuroforce. If they gave Mewtwo Y Neuroforce and like just as long as it had more speed than Calyrex Shadow, I think like even if they just go like 11 points out of attack and put it into speed, all of a sudden I think this is a good mon that we can talk about. As currently constructed, it's bad. And like same thing goes for Mewtwo X. It's like its attack stats really good. It probably just needs to lose like 30 special attack and then go like 151 speed and then some like sped def and spatak and because again 106 100 100 is good. Like that's a good mon. It's just and
Mhm.
190 attack is really good. It's just I think this speed stat in a restricted format's too bad. The bikes outspeed it, Cali Shadow outspeeds it. It's like yeah, I don't know. Like this thing is just fodder in front of Cali Shadow, I think, and that's kind of why I think it's like honestly, it's content here. It's not good.
Yeah, 130 used to be so good, but it's gotten diminished in recent gens.
Yeah, and again, this is where like I know I keep saying it. I really hope Champions fixes Pokemon like this because the Mewtwo's just need a complete rework. New abilities, new stat distributions, just completely rework them.
I'm with you on that.
All right, now we'll go into my goat Sceptile. Easy S tier in my opinion. No, it's this is a. I'm gonna say it's niche. Because I do think that with the potential Raichu forms being really good, on top of its ability to pair up with with Miraidon, I do think Sceptile has niches in the metagame. Its base form doesn't affect it at all. I do pray that they give it Draco Meteor. Like that's like my big thing in Champions. Please give it Draco. If not, it's gonna be kind of sad. Why? Oh, I didn't spell it right. But yeah, I think this mon paired up with Miraidon in particular could be really good because it covers Miraidon's weakness to ground types really well. It also gets access to Dragon Cheer, which I think is kind of funny. But also Miraidon can just discharge spam next to this thing. Like you could go for something like a Choice Scarf Discharge, give this thing a +1, and then when you have a mon with 145 base special attack, at +1, even if you were to play like Timid, this all of a sudden starts getting absurd. Like we're talking Ursaluna type numbers with like options like Leaf Storm, right? So like this thing could like be hitting for neutrally as hard as like a Facade Ursaluna, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
Mhm.
Obviously, it'd have to be
Yeah,
+1 to Lightning Rod, but
I'm with that,
I
and I think even the combo next to Kyogre is great.
very true, yeah, protecting it.
Hmm.
But look, I am biased. Sceptile is my second favorite Pokemon in the game, so I'm a little biased, but I do think there is the niche of Miraidon in particular, but also if the Raichu forms end up becoming really, really broken, I think it just inherently spikes this mon's usage. But they are mons we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Blaziken's another one of those mons that I think is kind of interesting, where it's like it might just be better to run base form Blaziken. But I do think that the major thing going for, I guess, Mega Blaziken is it hits the speed stat of Calyrex Shadow with Adamant at +1. Like that's the major difference I can think of off the top of my head. It would also get the base 50 mons as well. So the base 151 mons, like the Z Megas. But yeah, this is a mon that has very little bulk. You probably just want to like click protect and then just like double stab, right? Like it's you're probably playing something like this. I could see it being a cool coaching mon, but like realistically, if I'm playing this as my Mega, you probably don't want to click coaching, but like maybe there's a world where it's good. I think it's niche. It still hits really hard. It's honestly a solid special mon as well. Like I could see a world where you go for something like overheat on it. Like you go like overheat and like it's sad to say you probably want Focus Blast, but really like Aura Sphere, like something like this could be like kind of cool. But yeah, I think it's niche at best. Like its stats are really good. Its offensive typing is really strong. I just think there's probably better megas. And honestly, as I said, I think it's like base Blaziken with Sash is probably just as good.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I'm with you on that. I think I just feel like in a world of Urshifu, like even if you have to protect for speed boost, it gets so scary so quickly. Like, can you even reliably get up speed boost? Like that's the big question I have.
Yeah, probably not when you think about it, sadly.
Mhm.
All right. Next one though is Mega Pert. I think it's good in the right format. It needs rain and it needs Rillaboom to not exist.
Yeah, that's
Obviously,
the big caveat.
there is counterplay to Rillaboom. Like I spoke about this in like one of my videos recently, in like one of the comment sections, where it's like just because Rillaboom exists doesn't mean Swampert is bad, right? If Rillaboom exists, but it's like 30% usage, it just means it doesn't come to 30% of games, and it also just means you need something that beats Rillaboom, right? Like I think you could pair like Mega Swampert with Mega like Salamence, for example, and it's like then you could play like Mega Ments on Rain as well, where you go like Hyper Voice Hurricane stuff. So that way you have like a really strong single target flying type move as well. But like it's a Swift Swimmer. It's pretty bulky. It's only got one weakness, which is cool. It hits pretty hard, right? It's got things like unfortunately no Wave Crash. Like I think if it got Wave Crash, then this mon becomes like a way more devastating like Rainmon, but I still think like
Mhm.
something like Liquidation or like Waterfall paired up with like Earthquake. Like Earthquake next to Pelipper is like really good, and then you go like Ice Punch for coverage maybe to hit like some flying types like Lando. But, like I think a set like this isn't bad. But again, I think it needs the right format. It needs to not be against Paradox Mons. It needs to have a good rain setter. That's kind of my thoughts on it, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was thinking, like, I know Iron Bundle isn't necessarily like the number one Pokemon, like it gets outclassed by a lot of the other modern day VGC mons, but like I think Booster Speed Iron Bundle still outspeeds Swampert.
Oh yeah,
Even
dude, a lot of them do. Like this
yeah,
doesn't even get close to Fluttermane tiers. Like
no.
you need to hit 155 to outspeed Fluttermane. You don't get close, and that's what I'm saying. Like I think if the
Yep.
Paradox mon exists, this isn't good. Um,
Yep.
but like again, in the right low power format where like you pair this thing up like with a Pelipper, I think it's solid. But like that's why I
I'm
think for
with you
me
on
it's
that.
like it's B at best, but like yeah, I think it's B. Like it needs the right format, but in the right format, I could see it being like very devastating.
I'm with you on that. I think that's fair.
All right. We'll move on to Fabio here, Mr. Mega Ampharos. I think this is another Mega that really is let down by the fact that it doesn't get Draco Meteor. Like, yeah, I don't know why they gave it Fluffy. I don't think it actually gets Fluffy. Like this
It's
is
Mold
really
Breaker.
good. Yeah, I thought so. Like this is really good. This is also really good for Trick Room, but like it just can't abuse it. Like if it got like Tail Glow, like which I can't believe this one doesn't get Tail Glow, but if it got like
Yeah.
Tail Glow, like Draco Meteor, like maybe they give it like Thunderclap, maybe like Carmine Thunderclap, Draco Meteor, just make it like Raging Bolt at home. Maybe it's good, but like yeah, I don't know. Ampharos like it just doesn't have like you have to play like Dragon Pulse, you have to play like T-Bolt, like you just don't do much. Like do you even get Calm Mind? You don't even get Calm Mind. Do you get Plot? Yeah, it doesn't have any way to like, but yeah,
Oof.
I don't know. I think this is like it's a bad mon. It's not good. I don't think.
And this is a rough Pokemon to have Mold Breaker on because like
Yeah,
your only thing you're bypassing is Lightning Rod, which is going to be niche at best anyways.
yeah. It's like this is my answer to the Raichus that are trying to like discharge themselves before they mega.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be good.
All right. We'll move on to Absol. I actually think Absol is F tier for the simple fact that it is completely outclassed by its new form.
I agree 100%. I think they messed up the original Absol's
And
stat
they
spread.
nailed it.
It's frankly, or it's not frankly, it's frankly horrendous based compared to what they did with Absol Z.
It's like, and also its ability is just bad. It's like you look at these two next to each other, right? So Absol Z hits harder. They have the same level of bulk, and Absol Z also has like 36 more points in speed. Oh, and it also gets the ghost type, so it is just a better type. So it's like it's better
Mhm.
type. It hits harder. It's faster. The bulk doesn't change. They have the same move pool. If you're running base Absol, you're just a fan of Absol. Like that. That's it. Like I don't think it's even worth talking about. Just play Absol Z, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Magic Bounce isn't even that cool on it as a dark type
Mm.
because most Pokemon running status moves against you are going to be pranksters, so you're already immune.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I'm yeah. It's F tier. It is probably like the second worst in this tier, only to Audino, and that's because I would probably still prefer play regular Absol than Audino. But that's all right. We'll move over to Pidgeot now. This is like Pidgeot's interesting because like it's not good. Like I don't think anyone's gonna argue that it's good. Like I love this mon. Like as someone who played Gen 1, I love this Pokemon to bits. Its bulk is very average. Its speed stats okay at 121. 135 special attacks fine. I think no guard just needs to be like changed to only affect yourself. I think the biggest issue with this move, sorry, this ability is that it also means your opponents can't miss you. Like, I
Yeah.
think if you could fire off like Hurricane, Heat Wave, I think it gets like Hyper Voice. It doesn't even get Hyper Voice. Okay, maybe it's not good. What was the other move I was thinking of here? Hurricane, Heat Wave. It has
I
another
don't
as a
even know another
focus
flying.
blast. I think it gets
Does it even have
Blast.
other moves that can miss?
Surely it has a few, right? It gets Air Slash that can miss Heat Wave. Yeah, dude, like literally, Showdown has 3 usable moves, and it's these 3 right here.
Yeah. But
So it's
I was
like,
gonna say when you put it up there, I think this is a meme Pokemon personally because what you have already been saying, I feel like no guard does more harm than it does good. Because now your opponent can hit Thunder outside of the rain. Now they can hit Rock Slide every single time. They can hit Stone Edge every single time. Like I feel like Flying type does not like that you can now hit it 100% of the time. Like Blizzard, same thing. Like I feel like there's
yeah,
too many options that are really bad for Mega Pidgeot to allow your opponent to have
it's
100% accuracy.
it's also a Gen 1 Pokemon with 0 moves. What is like? Look at this whole thing.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It
It's
learns like
really
how many? It's a Gen 1 normal type with 2 moves above 100 base power.
oh, it's so bad.
What the
I think
hell?
this is one of the worst Pokemon ever made.
Yeah, dude, I'm actually sad. This thing needs a complete rework. Yeah, F tier. Like, let's move on. We're not harp on with that too much.
Yeah.
Mega Pinsir. So this is actually another one I did speak about with Jack the other day. Pinsir is like this isn't good. Like my argument for Pinsir is why would I use Mega Pinsir when I could use Mega Mens, who has Intimidate in its base form. It's also a lot faster, and the attack stats, while are comparable, it's like Mega Mens is a lot faster. It's a lot bulkier. It's also like able to run special attacks. This thing it gets double edge, right, which is cool. It's also a bug type that when you have a look at its bug coverage here, it's like, oh wow, crazy, look at that. It doesn't get Mega Horn, even though it has 2 really big horns. Like yeah, sword stance, like quick attack's cool. Like a quick attack with aerialate's like a fun little thing, but I actually think this is probably like either like the worst, probably not good, or like just straight up F tier.
Yeah, I think the only other better move it can run is like Giga Impact, and even that's
hmm
still not great. Like you
It's
don't
like
love using that.
I'd prefer at that point just running double edge. Like double edge aerialate is
Yeah.
gonna slap off this thing, but it's like
Yeah.
and its bulk
I
is
think the
like
bug typing, as always, really hurts this one here.
yeah. the day they flip the type chart with fairies, the day bug type gets a bit better, I think.
Yep, and they need that. They need that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right. Next we have Mega Sableye. This is another mon where it's probably just better in its base form, right? Like, I don't think Sableye is a bad mon, but I think you'd prefer, like, yeah, its offense is a pretty average, really good type. The speed stats, like, not bad, but I think this is like a singles mon rather than a VGC mon.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I've heard of some people using Mega Sableye well, but it's definitely far and few between. Like I don't look at Mega Sableye getting Magic Bounce as a positive. I don't look at Mega
Yeah.
Sableye like being the Pokemon I want to be my focus as the Mega. Like that just doesn't seem right. It seems like a not quite Audino, but kind of the same vein of Audino
Mm.
where why am I doing a defensive Mega Evolution here? Like it doesn't help me at all.
Yeah, nah, I'm with you. I think, like, again, like, I don't think the Mega's bad. I'm just gonna say probably not good. Like, you're probably just better off running sorry, base form Sableye, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think I
Yeah.
don't really have to say about it because it just seems so lackluster.
Yeah, I'm with you. Mega Mega Scizor's another interesting one because I think, like, on launch this wasn't a bad one, but I think it's been, like, just severely power creeped, and it also has the, like, it does the exact same thing as its base form, but, like, again, it's like you could probably just run like Life Orb in its base form, and it's like maybe a better mon. Like the Spadef buff is nice, and same with the defense buff, and it gets like a speed buff. So like there is definitely merit to running the Mega Scizor here. Like I still think like Swords Dance, like Bullet Punch is like a really good set. But like I don't know, like it feels like you would specifically have to play this on Rain as your second Mega, and that's kind of it.
Hmm.
Like
And oh, go for it. Sorry.
I was gonna say like this is like maybe your Rain's answer to Rillaboom for a Swampert team. It's like, oh, my
I
opponent
could
has
see that for
Rillaboom.
sure.
Okay, now I play my Mega Sizzle lines.
Yeah, yeah. I think the one thing Mega Scizor has for it too is the fact that Bug Steel is the only good type combo that Bug can have. Like that
Mm,
actually is a pretty awesome typing.
yeah,
So I do like that.
but and again, this is something we'll talk about in the next video. It's a great Bug Steel type, but I
There's a
think
better
there's
one.
a better one. And again, we'll talk about it later, but I don't know. This Bug Steel type to me looks a lot better than
Oh, they
Mega.
gave it heat proof in the mod.
Yeah,
Whoa.
nah, dude, this is coward stuff. Give it Flashfire.
Yeah.
That's the set. That's the set. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna say it's niche because again, I think on Rain it's not bad, but again, it's like I think Galissapod on Rain is probably better because it actually is a water type in its base form and gets liquidation.
Yep. I Mega Scizor literally is just like Scizor, but I feel like you could get the
Yeah,
same effect with having Choice Band.
yeah, and again, I think that's why I'm willing to put it in niche because I still think it's a good mon, but like as you said, like its base form is probably just as good as its Mega. Galissapod probably also plays like yeah, I think Galissapod does better what Mega Scissor's trying to do, and like maybe that changes when we get what's it called? Galissapod's ability, and maybe it keeps its emergency exit, and then
Oh,
it's not
emergency
good.
exit.
But
Oh,
yeah, and then it's like okay, wait, maybe this isn't good, but yeah, I
yeah.
don't know. We'll move over to my goat Mega Heracross. I think this is straight up content. It's not playable. I don't play Mega Heracross. I don't think. I love this mon. It's one of my like I love like base form Heracross. One of my favorite Pokemon. Probably is my favorite bug type. Um, it's like this attack stat is so absurd. Like it's so absurd. But the typing of bug fighting is just so bad. Like
And
it's
I think
so
it gets rid of
bad.
what base Heracross does. Like Guts Heracross, I know it's still not good, but now you can't even run that. Like so you're gonna have to
And
run what Swarm? What does it even have?
well, you could still run it and swap it in on a Will-O-Wisp and then not mega it.
Hey, if you're pretty good, if you're able to
It's
get that read, that'd be spicy.
yeah, like I don't know, like it feels like this is what you want to run here with like Flame Orb, and this feels like okay, but like 85 speed is just not enough, and then like you drop it to 75 and it's even worse, and it's like again, it's a
Mhm.
fighting is so bad defensively that this one does nothing, even with like. And again, it's like I know it has things like arm thrust, right? It gets it gets pin missile too. It gets bullet
Mhm.
seed. It's like it gets a lot of moves. Wait, does it not get bullet seed? Oh no, I can't spell. It gets Bullet Seed. It gets like Rock Blast. Like it gets all the moves. Like this is my goat in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX. Like this is like the best Pokemon in that game. Like literally, unironically, the best Pokemon in that game. But in VGC, it's unplayable. Like I love Heracross. One of my, as I said, my favorite bug type. One of my all-time favorite Pokemon. It's not good.
Yep. I think 1v1 with Mega Pidgeot, it loses for sure every time.
Yep. Well, yeah, actually it does. It gets outsped and hurricaned. Okay, we got budget Steelix here. I mean, I think it does the
It
exact same thing
arguably
as
might be better
Steelix.
than Steelix, unfortunately. It arguably might be better.
Yeah, well, like I didn't want to. I mean, I know it's better. It has filter. Like it's this plus it doesn't have the weaknesses of ground type. Like it's yeah, I think it's better than Steelix. It does the exact same thing. They both have heavy slam. They both go body press. It doesn't get wide guard though, right? So screw you, guy.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one plus.
Yeah, honestly, I think they're the same mon. It's just Aggron is like technically bulkier because it has filter. It's like if
I think the biggest difference here too, besides like filter, obviously filter's way better than Sandforce in my opinion, but the fact that
ooh
it got to go to Mono Steel after Mega
yeah
Evolving is such BS.
yeah
They should
losing
have
the
done that
rock
for
type.
Steelix too.
Yeah, losing the rock type is like I think if they kept their base, like I think steel ground is better than steel rock. But yeah,
Yes.
and like and maybe
Yes.
Steelix is like one saving grace is it gets the speed plus it has more Spadef. But I think filter just trumps all. So
hmm
yeah.
I think like the filter and Mono Steel, I think just completely outclassed Steelix,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So I think we can leave Steelix there. We don't have to go too much further in depth on that. Sharpedo, is this probably just isn't good, right?
Yeah, I think it suffers the same fate as Blaziken.
Well, it's not only does it suffer, like it gets a new ability in Strong Jaw, but then it's like you have to protect in base form and then Mega, and like at that point you've just
Mhm.
been Fake Out cycled twice, but sorry, Intimidate cycled twice by Incin. It's
Yeah, and
like
on it, your opponent's gonna know that too. They're gonna know you
yeah.
want speed boost.
And like, don't get me wrong, like I could see a world where like a set like this isn't bad. But like, what? Did you even get a biting water type move? Like, there's no like, I mean, give it out like that. That's it.
Yeah,
It
it's gonna need Fish's Rend.
okay. Like straight up, I'm not shitting you. As it stands, I think it's D tier. They give
Yeah,
this thing fucking Fisher's Rend S tier. Like it, like I am not. I am not. Look at this stat spread, right? You can go
it's
adamant.
not bad.
Right, you can go adamant with 140 attack. At +1, you outspeed everything except for Regieleki. Like the only literally like you outspeed max speed Cali, max speed like Lucario Z, all that kind of shit. You have 140 attack with Vicious Ren Strongjaw. You slap anyone who sets rain, this is like straight up S tier. Without it, D tier.
I think I'm just worried about the Urshifus here. Again, it's the Urshifu check where it just loses the close combat if you try to get speed boost in base.
Surely this picks up, right?
It would be if it's not Scarf Urshifu, it might. It definitely might.
That'd be interesting. But yeah, I don't think it's very good. I'm happy to put it in the probably not good tier. Like maybe it's
Yeah, I'm with you
niche
on
in
that.
some like it might find like maybe there's some world where like +1 speed on this thing actually does something, but yeah, I'm happy to leave it there. Does this guy go right here?
I kind of like it up there actually.
Do you know why we put it right next to those two?
I think it's the same kind of defensive pairing, but it also Shell Armor is now actually a lot cooler than it used to be. Having again, I keep beating the drum with Urshifu, but like having these Pokemon that can crit every single time, and now having a Pokemon that can wall that is incredible.
Well, this one straight up just checks Urshi Rapid, I think. But
Yeah,
like
totally.
also this set here is like not bad. Like you probably don't even need Iron Defense in all honesty. Like this guy's defense stat is already kind of absurd, right? At 180.
hmm
This
You can
also
hit
allows
Dark
you to
types now with Body Press.
yeah, and Steel types too. Like this,
hmm
like fighting psychic coverage is actually really, really good. This covers a lot, and like it's very slow, so like, and it actually hits quite hard. So there's a world where like this is your like trick room sweeper, where you go like body press plus expending force, and then like you can
Yeah, I
also like
really don't
set
hate
trick
this
room
one
as
actually.
well.
I think this is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's definitely niche. Like it probably needs Indeedee to function. Without Indeedee, it just straight up doesn't function. And then on top of that, there's probably just better partners. Like you're probably still gonna play Hat over Slowbro. But I think it's still like there's a niche there, right? Because you play it again. You play it with like what Doesn't this thing get, is it slack off? Yeah, it's slack off. Like
Hmm.
this is like a way bulkier support piece next to Indeedee that doesn't just automatically lose to steel types. Like that's the big thing
Hmm.
going for it. It probably has a better matchup into Incin as well because you just like bop it with this. But I don't think it's bad. I'm happy to put it right here with Steelix and Aggron as like a cool mega that clicks body press.
Yeah, those are the three defensive megas that I think actually work, like
Mm.
or actually could work potentially.
Well, they're a mixture of offense and defense, right? Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, totally,
Or
totally.
like Trick Room as well. Like Aggron's matchup into what's his name, Ursa Luna is probably super positive. Like
Hmm.
because with filter in that defensive stat, you're probably eating a headlong rush comfortably, and then just one shotting it back.
Totally.
And then finally the last old mega. I think you told me you were interested in Altaria, right? This is a mon that you've been
Yes.
looking at. Wanna
Altaria is one of those Pokemon that I feel like on paper it looks like it would like not stat wise. I'm gonna say ignore the stats. Let's first ignore the stats when I say this. But like when you look at Dragon Fairy, when you look at what its base form does with ignoring weather, and you have Pixelate as your Mega Evolution ability, like it looks like it should be so good. And then you look at that stat spread, and you're like, never mind, this thing sucks. Like I cannot believe how bad it is.
that's the issue. It's like its bulk is really good. Its speed just isn't enough, and neither offensive stat is like worth justifying. Like this guy can Dragon Dance, right? Like which is cool. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the only Dragon Fairy type, right? Like
It is. It's the only one and only.
yeah, like this is a sick typing to have, but it's like
Hmm.
you kind of have to click DD, but then even if you click Dragon Dance, you don't have enough speed, even if you go like Jolly, right? Like you go Jolly and
Hmm.
you still not outspeeding anything. You also like need a ground move. You only get Earthquake. So it's like you kind of have to play it physical. You have to play Dragon Dance. But then like if you play a set like this, you don't have dragon coverage, which is fine, but like this is probably the set you have to play. And this just
Yep.
doesn't feel great.
And
I
it
don't know.
to me it feels like base Altaria is better. Like I think the ability to turn off the weather is more valuable than what Pixelate does offensively.
Maybe. You might be right. I also just don't think base Altari is good at all. But yeah, I think this is
The,
like
o-
probably not good.
the only reason why I say that is because I used to run a Steel Terra Altaria, and I would do Helping Hand, Tailwind, Moonblast, and Will-O-Wisp, and it was surprisingly effective.
No, I can see that. I can see that. It's like I'm sure it has its niche, but like I don't know. Like, do you think this is D tier or do you think this is actually F tier?
I think it's straight up F tier personally. The typing would be the only
You
thing that
got me.
saves it, in my opinion, but I don't think
Yeah.
it does it enough.
It honestly is probably like Audino like tiers of stat spread. Like it's
Yeah.
right there.
Oh, yeah.
Like at least like this guy here is like relatively fast and hits hard. He's just outclassed by his other form, and like Heracross like in a vacuum is really good, but unfortunately he's never in a vacuum. He's in like a format where there's flying types everywhere because flying type is like arguably the best type in the game.
Mhm.
And it's yeah, I don't know. I
And I
think
think
yeah, I'd leave it there. I think
I think Dragon Fairy in its heyday, like back when Megas were released, was way cooler. But I think in the modern
yeah.
era, Steel types have just gotten
I
way
mean,
too
like
strong.
imagine you
Poison types have
play
gotten way too strong.
imagine trying to play this Pokemon in a format where this is arguably the best Pokemon in the game. Like,
Yeah, it's
it's like,
impossible.
oh, my Altaria, it's so good. Bullet Punch gone.
And then you have Mega Gengar right there too, like clicking
Yeah,
Sludge Bomb into
Sludge
it.
Bomb. I mean, Hyper Voice, Fake Out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, it's funny because like sometimes you can make an argument like, oh, but like it checks X Mega, but it's like, which Mega does it check here?
Yeah,
Like
it loses
you're
to all
getting
of them.
intimidated by Mence, and then like you're being forced to run dragon coverage, and then let's be real with those stats, like you're not one-shotting a Salamence with these stats. Like I'm sorry.
No.
Like even if you hit it with a Draco Meteor or a Play Rough or like a Moonblast, like Salamence is living. Um yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Is there anything like looking at this that you would change?
I think maybe honestly, Slowbro might be better than Mega Steelix, unfortunately. I might be hurting myself on that one, but I think it might be a little bit better there. And then,
Like these aren't
I don't
super ordered, but yeah.
yeah, I don't hate it. I really don't. I think we honestly got pretty close. I think some people might give us a little bit of gruff for Mewtwo Y being an F rather than D, but I
It's just
still I
Zama's
still think we
exists.
got it.
Yeah, I think like this isn't super ordered. Like I think if you were gonna like order the S tier, like this could honestly be completely shaken up. Like I think there's an argument. This is like at the back, but there's like also an argument it's here.
Mhm.
I think I would probably like. It's so hard, yeah, because like I think these four in particular could be put in any order. Like you like I would say if the paradox Pokemon don't exist, this probably slides down to here. But
Mhm.
then if they do exist, it probably slides into here. You know what I mean? It's tough.
Mhm.
And then it's like in a lower power format, Kang is like maybe the best, but then as the format gets stronger, it's like maybe there. And then like these two are probably just going to be constantly in battle for like the best one, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, I think
difficult, right? I don't
looking at
know.
Charizard Y, it's hard to say that that isn't the strongest based off the group of Pokemon it gets to work with.
That's the thing, right? It's like again, Dynamax Venusaur, right? The Paradox Pokemon. Like we already have good
Mhm.
Pokemon as it is. Even like I don't know the A tier. Like I feel like this is almost okay. I think Ray's like the best, and then
Yeah,
like I'm pretty happy with like these guys in this order. That's fine by me. I think this is definitely the most broken B tier. I think there's almost an argument it's A tier, but we have to wait and see how things play out. I would
totally.
put like I'd put Diancie at the back only because I don't know how good it is. And then like I don't know, maybe I'm like a Swampert like fan, but I don't know. And like I look at this, like I actually think Sceptile might be better than Lucario, but again, I'm
I
very
I think it has
biased
an
there.
option, especially with Miraidon eventually coming here, like being able to invalidate what's the name of its signature move? I'm spacing it right now.
Electro Drift.
Yeah, being able to invalidate that in general is so crazy good.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe like in the right, maybe it is B tier because again, the right format, this thing is very good. I think. Like
Mhm.
I think Sceptile is just one of those ones where like if it just had 10 more speed tier, it's 10 more speed, it's easy B tier. Like in a restricted format, if this guaranteed outsped Cali S, I think it would just straight up be a B tier. But I think for now I'm happy to put it in the C tier. Keep
That's
it
fair.
there, keep it
I think
clean.
that's reasonable.
Yeah, but I think we're good to wrap it up here. I guess is there anything else you want to say before we finish it off?
I just want to say thank you again for having me on. I love doing these collab videos with you. This was a ton of fun. Really appreciate it. And I can't wait to get into champions when we can really flesh this out.
Yeah. Oh, and look, the best part is when Champions comes, we just do this again, but with more
Yeah.
information. It's like, right, well, he has sharpness. Welcome here. You got Draco Meteor, 160 base speed, S tier.
Yep.
But
We
yeah,
can do a
it's
post GC number one
yeah,
remix.
true. And look, the beautiful thing is I'm gonna keep these tier lists. Like obviously we have the videos so we can look back on it, but it's yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun to look back at these like a month from now and be like, damn, we were so off. Like it's like, dude, Mega Zam is the best Pokemon in the game. It's like,
Dude, there is a world where it is. There is
oh
truly
yeah,
a
dude.
world
I
where it
mean,
is.
there is a world where, not you, but these four here all just auto die to like Mega Zam clicking E Force, and then because of that, maybe Metagross is just him 4x resisting E Force. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
Metagross is the best Pokemon in the game. But then, who knows? Maybe you start seeing some Metagross Alakazam teams where it's like, okay, they have Charizard, Alakazam. They don't have Charizard, Metagross clicking Zen Headbutt with Psychic Terrain is going to be kind of absurd. Um,
Yeah, I feel like Psy Spam is just an inevitable evil that we always have to face now.
yeah, and honestly, this is why we need the Goat Chiyu back because Mega Zam and Metagross, I don't care about either of you. I'm a bop you.
That's true. That's very
Um,
true.
and also, I guess Incineroar in that same card. Because, I mean, who doesn't fucking love an Assault Vest Cat in a Charizard Z Metagross
Oof,
format? But
that actually will be nasty, unfortunately.
yeah,
We're gonna
unfortunately,
keep seeing that for a while.
the goat just keeps goading, man. It just
Ugh.
every format it seems to just get a little bit better. Unfortunately, it's like, oh no, Incin, it's good. Oh, crazy. Um, but yeah, I guess before we wrap it up, do you want to tell everyone where they can find you? I'm sure I'll have links down in the description, and I probably mentioned it in the intro, knowing me as well.
Absolutely. You guys can find me over at Mr. Steelix Your Girl. I also make VGC content. I bridge out a little bit, but I'm going to be doing a lot of VGC beginner guides when it comes to Champions Times. Love to just like make content for people to get started in VGC, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope I see some of you guys over there.
It is indeed. Well, anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up for this one. I do apologize about the lack of camera in the second half once again, but I don't know. I need to figure out how to charge this and use it at the same time. But yeah. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. We will catch you all in the next one.
See you
Peace.
later.